Chapter 2135. At this time, in the place Ling, Xiao, Jasa, Ling Jian, Ling Mayu, and Ling Yan were all covered in blood. Anger and confusion could be seen on the faces of the three men, especially Ling Mayu. He questioned Chen Kuan more than once. Why? Why is this happening? Brother Kuan, we are going to get married. We once swore that we would be together forever. Why are you doing this to me? It seems that Ling Xiao was right. These dogs of the Qin family really want to kill all of us. Ling Jian gritted his teeth and said, I really regret it. If I had listened to Ling Xiao and paid attention, I wouldn't have been attacked so miserably. The Chun family's killing of the Ling family started suddenly, when they entered the dense forest. Qin Pai also said that the two families should make a gentleman's agreement not to attack each other. At that time, they would only compete on who hunted more monsters, not to kill each other. But in an instant, Qin Pai's face changed. Everyone in the Chun family changed their faces and launched a bloody massacre of the Ling family. When all this happened, most of the Ling family did not react at all. Therefore, only the stronger Ling Jian, Ling Yan, Ling Jiao Jiao, and Ling Mayu survived to the second day. The rest were all dead. More than 70 people. They were all the future of the Ling family, but they were all killed. This blow was really too heavy. Ling Mayu still shook his head, as if he did not believe the reality in front of him. Or rather, he did not dare to face it. Why don't we ask Ling Xiao for help? Ling Yan said. As a reincarnated martial artist, Ling Yan naturally showed calmness and composure that did not match his age. At this time, only Ling Xiao could save them. Forget it. If he comes, he will just die. Besides, we offended him so badly before. Do you think he will still come? Ling Jian shook his head and smiled bitterly. Ling Yan was also silent. All along, he was very clear about how the Ling family treated Ling Xiao. Now that he was in trouble and wanted Ling Xiao to help, how could Ling Xiao help? Besides, how could Ling Xiao be a match for the dozens of people around him? Don't forget that Chen Kuan, an expert at the 8th Grotto Heaven Realm, was among them. He suddenly didn't want Ling Xiao to come. Perhaps Ling Xiao was still alive and could avenge them, but now that he was here, there was nothing left. Idiot woman, haven't you heard? A real man doesn't care about trifles. You're just a woman. How could I give up the family's matters for you? Kill them. Chen Kuan waved his hand. The 3 people in the encirclement had been surrounded for nearly 2 hours. Although they were stubbornly resisting, it was almost time to reel in the net. After finishing the important matters here, they still had to return to Yuhua Town to celebrate with the adults of the Chen family. Despair. True despair. Ling Jian, Ling Mayu, and Ling Yan all revealed looks of despair that they had never had before. Chen Kuan, I'm a disciple of the 7-Star Sword Palace. Mayu is a disciple of the Ling Long Palace. If you dare to kill us, the 7-Star Sword Palace and the Ling Long Palace won't let this go. Ling Jian roared. Ha 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 ha! Do you really think that those 2 major forces will go to war for 2 mere outer court disciples? No way! You 2 really think too highly of yourselves. Besides, don't forget that this is the Yuhua mountain range. You were all killed by demonic beasts. What does it have to do with our Chen family? Chen Kuan laughed wantonly. Today's plan was really too perfect. Do you think that the adults of our Ling family will believe? Only you guys are fine, but we're all dead. Ling Jian said coldly. To tell you the truth, they won't live past today. Didn't you notice that even if we killed you guys crazily, the judges didn't stop us? Chen Kuan said these words and felt his mood become much better. No, it should be said that it was great. Especially when he saw the other party's expression as if they had seen a ghost, he became excited. At this time, the Chen family's disciples began their attack again. Ling Jian, Ling Mayu, and Ling Yan's resistance became weaker and weaker. On one hand, it was because they were really too tired. On the other hand, it was because their hearts were dead. If even the 8 Immortals County's county chief was scheming against them and wanted them to die, could they still survive? Impossible. Oh my! Where's the energy you used to bully me? Why are you so embarrassed today? Suddenly, a contemptuous voice came from the treetops, attracting everyone's attention. Everyone looked up and saw Ling Xiao standing on a branch, indifferently looking at everything that was happening below. He didn't make a move because Ling Jian and Ling Mayu were not worthy of his saving. Ling Yan didn't bully him, but it had nothing to do with him. Don't mock us at this time. We admit that you're right. The Qin family is indeed going to make a move. Hurry up and run. If you can escape, it'll count. Someone must tell the Chen family's doings. Ling Jian saw Ling Xiao and suddenly shouted. He really didn't expect Ling Xiao to save them. Although they didn't bully Ling Xiao, they did have the intention to kill Ling Xiao. It was unrealistic to expect Ling Xiao to save them. Plus, with Ling Xiao's strength, how could it be worth watching? It was better not to make a move. Escape? Since he has delivered himself to the door, do you think he can still escape? Chun Kuan saw Ling Xiao and instantly released an astonishing killing intent. That day in Yuhua Town, if it wasn't for the county chief's sudden appearance, you would have been dead. It's your good fortune to be able to live until today, but everything ends here. Xin Dian, go find Ling Jiao Jiao. Inform me immediately after you find her. Anyway, Ling Xiao didn't know where Ling Jiao Jiao was at this time. He planned to deal with Chun Kuan first. Yes, Shan Dian came out of the storage ring and flew away. The secret sword was recognized by Ling Moyu and Qin Kuan at the same time. So it's you, Ling Moyu said in surprise. So it's you, kid. It seems that we have to settle the old and new grudges together today. Chun Kuan became even angrier. His killing intent was incomparably dense. Yes, I was the one who took the sword. So what if you know? Ling Xiao smiled disdainfully and jumped down from the tree into the encirclement. Remember what I said a few days ago. Are you going to ask me for help now? Ling Xiao looked back at Ling Jian and Ling Moyu and sneered. Both of their faces were very ugly. Their faces were burning uncomfortably. They didn't expect that the words of that day would become a reality. You go quickly. You can't save us. Ling Jian sighed. Don't try to act all high and mighty. How can you possibly save us? Ling Moyu also said. Brother Ling Xiao, I, Ling Yan, only ask you to help me take revenge. This is my token before reincarnation. Take it. It will be good for you in the future. Ling Yan took out something from the storage ring. It looked like a jade tablet. Chapter 2136. Ling Xiao knew that Ling Jian, Ling Mayu, and Ling Yan did not believe him, but he wanted these 3 people to kneel down and beg him, even if he saved them and then let them perish on their own, not for anything else, just to trample on their dignity, just like how these guys treated him in the past. So he had to do something. Let these 3 people believe that he had the ability to save people. Ha 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 ha, Ling Xiao, you're really a failure. Others don't believe in your strength. You might as well kill yourself. Qin Kuan laughed and did not make a move. Perhaps from his point of view, Ling Xiao was not even comparable to the 3 people who were surrounded. Killing Ling Xiao was as easy as it could get. Brother, don't kill him later. We have to avenge ourselves. Chun Xingji stared at Ling Xiao and said, Yes, brother, I'm going to skin this kid alive. Chun Du also said loudly, Don't worry, I'll be merciful. I won't let him die so easily. Qin Kuan showed a ferocious expression and said with a smile, This kid dared to steal my things. I must torture him and make him kneel on the ground and beg for mercy, so that you too can vent your anger. That's great, brother. Chan Xingji and Chen Du knew that they were not Ling Xiao's opponents, but with Chan Kuan here, they had nothing to be afraid of. What's more, except for the 6 or 7 people who died and the dozen people who followed Chen Pai to search for Ling Jiao Jiao, the rest were all here. With so many people, they really didn't believe that Ling Xiao could overturn the sky. Ling Xiao kept his Tai Chi eye open and saw the answer he wanted from Chen Xingji and Chen Du's eyes. Ling Jiaojiao had not been caught yet, which made him relieved. He hoped that the divine grimoire could find Ling Jiaojiao first. Otherwise, Ling Jiaojiao was not Qin Pai's opponent. Forget it, don't think so much. Let's solve the matter in front of us first. Anyway, it had to be solved eventually. Moreover, Ling Jiaojiao had the alchemy formation stone that he gave her. Even if she was found, she would be safe. Chun Kuan, what's the point of you blabbering so much? Why don't you try and see if my sword or your saber is stronger? Ling Xiao immediately summoned his iron sword and pointed it at Chun Kuan. A frenzied energy surged within his body. Even without using the diabolical dragon seal, Ling Xiao was still confident that he could easily defeat Qin Kuan, who was at the 8th paradise realm. Before he entered the cycle of reincarnation, he could already defeat opponents 3 levels higher than him. Now, every time he advanced a level, he was stronger than before. Qin Kuan's cultivation was only 2 levels higher than his, so he could easily kill him. There was no need for him to use the seal of eternal life. He only needed the falling star sword to solve the problem. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect you to be so arrogant even at death's door. Let me tell you the truth. Today, the prefectural governor has invited the Chen and Ling families to a banquet at Yuhua Restaurant. Everyone from your Ling family will die. From today onwards, the Ling clan will be completely removed from Yuhua town. Chen Kuan roared with laughter as he drew his battle saber. A powerful aura enveloped the battle saber, as though he was going to cripple Ling Xiao. He would then hand him over to his younger brother and sister to be tortured to death. Why is the prefectural governor doing this? Ling Jian could not help but ask. I'm not sure. The prefectural governor probably saw that your Ling family had thoughts of rebellion. Qin Kuan smiled and said, however, what's the point of knowing? You can't change anything. You sure talk a lot of nonsense. Ling Xiao was different from Ling Jian. He had no interest in knowing why the prefectural governor wanted to deal with the Ling family. He only knew that Chen Kuan had to die today. After killing this trash, he still had to find Ling Jiaojiao. The moment he said that, Ling Xiao shook the iron sword in his hand. It streaked across the void with a flash of starlight. 7 stars annihilation sword. The starlight was resplendent before it was destroyed. Within a radius of several hundred meters, the entire area was filled with this terrifying, starry sword chi. Kill! Ling Xiao's voice echoed in the void. Chen Kuan finally revealed a horrified expression. He could not block it. It was too fast, too strong. Stop! A roar came from somewhere. Others did not see it, but Ling Xiao saw it. It was one of Lord Lin's subordinates. When the Ling family's disciples were killed, he did not appear. However, when he was about to kill Qin Kuan, this person suddenly appeared. However, do you think I'll stop just because you asked me to? Ling Xiao's lips curled into a sneer. The iron sword slashed across Chen Kuan's neck. A big head fell to the ground instantly. When the head fell to the ground, Qin Kuan's eyes were still wide open and his mouth was agape. It was as if he could not believe that he would die in the hands of Ling Xiao. Now, do you believe in my strength? He withdrew his sword and returned to his original position. Ling Xiao asked contemptuously. At this moment, Ling Jian, Ling Mayu, and Ling Yan were in a trance, frightened and excited. I beg you, please save us. Ling Jian was the first to kneel down and shouted. Brother Ling Xiao, save me, save me. I was wrong before. I looked down on you. But I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Ling Mayu was the second to kneel down. Only Ling Yan did not kneel. Ling Yan looked at Ling Xiao and smiled bitterly. Your strength really surprised me. However, I, Ling Yan, was also a character before I entered the world of reincarnation. It's impossible for me to kneel down and ask you for help. However, if you can save me, I, Ling Yan, will serve you for the rest of my life. You're not bad. Ling Xiao looked at Ling Yan and nodded. He valued people who could uphold their dignity and not kneel in the face of life and death. Moreover, he really needed such a helper in the Black Tortoise Continent. You'll follow me in the future. As for the two of you, I won't kill you, but I can't save you either. I've already killed Qin Kuan. Whether you can survive or not depends on your luck. Ling Xiao looked at Ling Jian and Ling Mayu indifferently, then grabbed Ling Yan's clothes and jumped out of the encirclement. They won't survive. Lin Daren's men chased after them. The rest of the Chen family crazily attacked Ling Jian and Ling Mayu. Although it was Ling Xiao who killed Qin Kuan, those people were not Ling Xiao's opponents. With this person dealing with Ling Xiao, they naturally vented all their hatred on those two people. Whether they live or not, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not the one who wants to kill them. Ling Xiao looked at Lin Daren's men. Well, for the time being, he'll call them number 2 man. Number 1 man had been killed by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao naturally wouldn't let go of number 2 man, because when Ling Xiao entered the Yuhua mountain range, he had already warned Lin Daren that if they dared to make a move on him and Ling Jiao, he would make these people pay the price. Since these people didn't listen, he didn't mind sending them to the Western Paradise. Ling Yan, eat this and recover as soon as possible. Then go and kill Qin Xingji and Qin Du for me. They are really not worthy of me personally killing them. Ling Xiao casually handed a medicinal pill to Ling Yan. Understood. Chapter 2137. To think that you still have the time to care about others. After killing Qin Kuan, you can only pay with your life. Otherwise, I won't be able to answer to Lord Lin and the Ascendant King. The second subordinate looked at Ling Xiao coldly. Make your move. I hope that you're different from Qin Kuan. Not only do you know how to talk nonsense, but you also have true abilities. Ling Xiao said indifferently. To be honest, if he were to fight this person face to face without the divine grimoire, it would take him quite some time to kill this person. However, he only wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. Therefore, he had to make a move to gain the upper hand. Taking advantage of the fact that his opponent didn't understand his strength, he would suddenly burst out and kill him. All right, then you can go to hell. Sure enough, number 2 did not waste any more words and directly attacked Ling Xiao. The terrifying aura of a 9th Grotto Heaven Realm expert burst out. The surrounding withered branches and leaves danced wildly as though a strong tornado had been set off. If an ordinary 6th Grotto Heaven Realm expert were to encounter this aura, they would definitely be frightened and wouldn't even be able to move their legs. However, Ling Xiao was still standing there. He even kept his metal sword, as though he wasn't planning to make a move. In the face of absolute strength, any tricks are useless. I'm really surprised that you could kill Qin Kuan. However, against me you don't stand a chance. Ling Xiao didn't say anything. He had already released the Hell Dragon Seal in his body. His inner strength had completely transformed into the dark purple Hell Dragon Fire. It was roaring and rolling in his body. However, he was suppressing it and hadn't released it yet. This kind of terrifying aura was truly terrifying. As for the aura released by the second subordinate, it wasn't even worth mentioning. Tricks, huh? Since you've seen through it, I can only fight it out. 8 swords. Star River explosion. The metal sword that had been kept suddenly appeared again. Then, Ling Xiao brandished the sword and pierced it forward. It was as though a star river had exploded in a small area, producing an extremely terrifying force. Number 2's subordinates, lips curled into a sneer. You want to block my attack with just this? Boom! The sword chi exploded and collided with the second subordinate's fists. The second subordinate didn't retreat, but Ling Xiao took a few steps back. Die. Number 2 continued to attack, But he was still very careful because he was afraid that this cunning brat still had other tricks up his sleeve. 9 swords. Universe break. While retreating, Ling Xiao stomped his feet on the ground and suddenly jumped up, thrusting out his sword. An even more terrifying power erupted. It was actually much stronger than before. Number 2's fist was pierced by the sword, and he was knocked back several steps. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. Unfortunately, this is all you have. Number 2 laughed and said, but it's too early for you to be proud. I was just testing you. F*CK, he's still not dead? He escaped. Ling Xiao turned around and ran at an extremely fast speed. Where do you think you're going? Number 2 was even faster. Ling Yan was currently recuperating, and upon seeing this scene, he became a little anxious. Although the effects of the pill were not bad, the time was too short, and it was impossible for him to recover. However, this guy actually stood up and blocked in front of number 2's subordinate. I, Ling Yan, will never regret what I said. He saved my life, and I will repay him with my life. Ling Xiao, run. Ling Yan let out a loud roar and released all of his aura. The shadow of a mountain appeared behind him. However, no matter how hard he tried, he was too far away from number 2's strength. He couldn't block it and could only delay it. Ling Xiao looked back, and a satisfied smile appeared on his face. He had 2 purposes for this series of actions. One was to let number 2's subordinate look down on him and think that he had done his best. Then he could suddenly attack and kill him. The other purpose was to test Ling Yan. If Ling Yan didn't save him, then he would naturally abandon Ling Yan. On the contrary, he would treat Ling Yan as a brother. Now that he had achieved his goal, it was time to end everything. Ling Yan closed his eyes. Dying in the hands of such a master was better than dying in the hands of that bastard Chen Zhao. A violent force rushed toward him, and he could even feel blood dripping from his skin. However, all of a sudden, the energy disappeared with a loud bang. Ling Yan opened his eyes in confusion, but what he saw shocked him. Number 2's subordinate was lying on the ground, motionless. Ling Xiao was standing on top of him, and the pitch-black flames were burning the body of number 2's subordinate that had already been killed. What are you waiting for? Don't you believe what you see? Ling Xiao asked with a smile. No, it's too shocking. How can your strength be so strong? Ling Xiao was also a martial artist who had entered the reincarnation stage. Wasn't Ling Xiao's improvement a little too fast? It was completely beyond common sense. There's no need to be shocked. I was just giving you a small test. Although that healing pill is real, its quality is not good. Take this healing pill and use it. There's also a Qi eruption pill. It can double your fighting strength for an hour. I'll leave the Qin family to you. I'm going to find Ling Jiao. Ling Xiao casually threw 2 pills to Ling Yan. How could he not trust someone who could save him with his life in a critical moment? Ling Yan was a friend worth making. Then Ling Xiao turned and left. Ling Yan stared blankly at the direction where Ling Xiao disappeared, and his heart was filled with complex feelings. If he had made the wrong choice, then he would probably be a corpse now. Fortunately, he didn't forget his principles before reincarnating at the critical moment. He looked at the 2 pills that Ling Xiao gave him and swallowed them together. Damn the Qin family. Since I, Ling Yan, have kept my life, you don't have to live anymore. He was a reincarnated warrior and a powerful warrior who had killed many people. Today, he almost died in the hands of a group of children. It was obvious how angry he was. Now that there was a chance for revenge, how could he give it up? What awaited those Chen family members was a bloody massacre. Let's not talk about Ling Yan. After Ling Xiao killed the 2nd subordinate, he started to look for the 3rd subordinate. He believed that the 3rd subordinate must be with Qin Pai. Among these 3 people, one followed Master Lin. One was responsible for protecting Qin Kuan, and the last one was responsible for protecting Qin Pai. However, he didn't see the figure of the third subordinate within the range of his Tai Chi eye. Ling Xiao suddenly thought of a possibility. Could Ling Jiaojiao have escaped? Therefore, he changed his direction and chased after Yuhua Town. About 7 or 8 minutes later, he saw a battle in progress on a mountain road about 1 mile away from Yuhua Town. Ling Jiaojiao was being played by Qin Pai. Qin Pai could have killed Ling Jiaojiao, but he deliberately didn't. He only played and tortured Ling Jiaojiao to his heart's content. Chapter 2138. Perhaps Ling Jiaojiao's recent increase in strength made Qin Pai realize the benefits of Ling Jiaojiao and fall for her. Or perhaps Qin Pai had fantasized about Ling Jiaojiao before, but Ling Jiaojiao ignored him. Regardless of the reason, Qin Pai now had a chance to get Ling Jiaojiao. How could he give it up so easily? Master, I found Ling Jiaojiao and Qin Pai. What should I do? At this moment, Xin Dian also sent a message. Because the secret sword contained a trace of Ling Xiao's soul power, as long as Xin Dian wanted to talk to Ling Xiao, she could do so as long as they weren't too far apart. Go and help immediately. Keep Qin Pai busy and don't let him continue to torture Jiaojiao. I'll take care of subordinate number 3 first. Ling Xiao found that subordinate number 3 was hiding less than 200 meters away from Qin Pai, watching the show. He was even eating sunflower seeds while watching. He planned to take care of this guy first. Otherwise, facing 2 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artists at the same time, even he couldn't handle it. Got it. Shen Dian received Ling Xiao's order and immediately joined the battle between Qin Pai and Ling Jiaojiao. Although her participation couldn't completely reverse Ling Jiaojiao's defeat, it could at least make Qin Pai uncomfortable for a while. That would create an opportunity for Ling Xiao to kill Master Lin's subordinate number 3. The fastest, the safest way to kill was, of course, assassination. Ling Xiao quietly approached subordinate number 3. At this moment, subordinate number 3 was watching Qin Pai's battle. Xin Dian's appearance clearly attracted his attention. A sword that could fly and attack on its own was definitely not ordinary. If I bring this sword back and give it to the county governor, I'll definitely receive great benefits. Subordinate number 3 was fantasizing about a beautiful future. His thoughts had already flown to a certain moment in the future. He completely didn't notice that a black shadow was speeding towards him. A trace of killing intent suddenly came from behind subordinate number 3. In that instant, subordinate number 3's body trembled. He didn't turn around and quickly rushed forward. He hoped to use his speed to dodge this sneak attack. He didn't know who the attacker was, but as long as he dodged this attack, he would definitely tear Jia Hui into pieces. Unfortunately, no matter how fast he was, the sharp claws still pierced his heart. It was burning and unbearable pain. He wanted to scream, but he found that his throat had been burned by the black flames. He couldn't make a sound. At the moment before he died, he looked back. In the haze, he saw the appearance of a monster. Done! Ling Xiao took a deep breath and removed the transformation of the infernal dragon. This was the Jiao's inner strength used. This was the fundamental reason why he didn't want to keep fighting in this state. Ling Xiao tossed a Grotto Heaven Essence energy pill into his mouth. While recovering, he looked at the battlefield not far away. In these short few minutes, was in the battle. She was in the end, was ins in, was ins in the battle. In S. At Jiao's Lin. Used this time. A of it, AA, was in it. Formation? I didn't expect the Ling family to have this kind of formation stone. That's surprising. But do you really think I can't do anything? Qin Pai was stunned for a moment before he took out a thunderclap, thunder fireball. The Sky Dragon continent, the Divine Phoenix continent, and the Black Tortoise continent had it. The Black Tortoise continent's Thunderbolt Fire Bullet contained the power of thunder and fire. The thing in Chen Pai's hand should be able to kill a half-step Yinyang realm martial artist without any problem. However, he took it out and prepared to use it to deal with the formation protecting Ling Jiaojiao. When you see this thing, you should understand, right? Once I use it, your formation will break, and even you will be blasted to death. Chen Pai sneered. Listen to me. Follow me. I'll make you the daughter-in-law of the Chen family. You'll enjoy a lot of wealth. No one will dare to look down on you. If you want to fight, then fight. I, Ling Jiao, would rather die than marry someone like you. I hate being forced, Ling Jiao said coldly. Chen Pai's expression was incomparably gloomy. Idiot! Only 4 of the Ling family's disciples who participated in the ascension ceremony are left. Ling Jian, Ling Mayu, and Ling Yan are already heavily surrounded. They're probably dead by now, and those adult martial artists of the Ling family. Since the prefectural governor has decided to deal with them, he won't let them live. Do you really think there's anyone who can save you? The life and death of the Ling family has nothing to do with me. I only care about Ling Xiao. How is he? Before coming to the ascension ceremony, Ling Jiao had already done what she should do. She informed the higher-ups of the Ling family and her sisters and brothers that the Chen family would harm the Ling family. She had already done all she could for this family that did not have any human feelings. What's more, her mother was killed by her father. She really didn't have any feelings for that man. Perhaps she would be happy if that guy died. The only thing she was worried about was Ling Xiao. She wondered how Ling Xiao was doing. Ling Xiao, what do you think? Even if he has made progress during this time, he's no match for me and Brother Ben. Plus, there are hundreds of disciples of the Chen family. Do you think he can leave here alive? Chen Pai sneered. Accept your fate. You either follow me or die here. You have no other choice. Die my ass. Ling Xiao won't die. You idiot, you should be worried about your brothers and sisters. Maybe they've been killed by my master. Shen Dian suddenly scolded. You can talk. Ling Jiao was stunned and asked hurriedly. Of course I can. Master asked me to find you. Shen Dian explained. Don't listen to that idiot's nonsense. With my master's current strength, even 10 of him are no match for him. Her words were obviously exaggerated, but since they were all bragging, who was afraid of who? Great. As long as he's not dead, I'm relieved. He's the only one who's really good to me. Ling Jiao's nervous and angry expression was swept away and replaced by an excited smile. Bitch, do you like that trash that much? Well, I'll destroy you now and then kill him. I'll let you reunite in the underworld. Chen Pai was annoyed, completely annoyed. No one had ever dared to despise him like this. She actually missed another man in front of him. He couldn't stand such contempt and provocation. He didn't want this woman anymore. He would destroy what he couldn't have. The thunderbolt fireball in his hand was released. Chapter 2139. Even Chen Pai did notice that at the moment when the thunderclap, thunderfire bullet exploded, a figure had rushed into the explosion. Ha 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 ha, be asterisk tsh, you deserve it. Who told you to choose that trash instead of me? Looking at the billowing flames burning there, Chen Pai laughed excitedly, although he was unhappy that he didn't get Ling Jiao. Destroying this woman with his own hands could be considered as revenge. Why is that idiot laughing by himself? I don't know. He probably lost his mind. The Chen family is a bunch of lunatics. The sudden conversation scared Chen Pai, who was laughing wildly, to the point that his hair stood on end. This shock was no small matter. He hurriedly turned to look in the direction of the conversation, only to see that about 100 meters away from him, Ling Xiao, Ling Jiaojiao, and the sword all appeared there safe and sound. And the one who spoke was Ling Xiao and the sword. Ling Xiao. Chen Pai was also shocked when he saw Ling Xiao, but soon after, he revealed a sinister smile. You didn't take the path to heaven, but you barged into hell. To be honest, I was afraid that you would escape, but I didn't expect you to walk right into my trap. Good, very good. I'll take care of you bastards together." At this moment, Ling Jiao grabbed Ling Zhao's hand and said, "Run. Run as far as you can. The Ling clan is finished. When the nest is overturned, no egg can remain intact. You can't fight against the entire Qin clan alone." Ling Jiao was really touched that Ling Xiao came to save her, but at the same time, she was also full of anxiety. She didn't want Ling Xiao to die here because of her. The opponent was Chen Pai, a 9th Grotto Heaven Realm powerhouse. Ling Xiao was definitely not his opponent. "Don't worry, just leave the rest to me." Ling Xiao gently touched Ling Jiao's head and said, "Although I'm a reincarnated warrior, you're also my sister. How can a brother not come to save his sister when she's in danger? How disgusting. Both of you will die here today, you adulterous couple. No, this doesn't seem exciting enough. Why don't Ling Jiao and I perform a man's favorite act in front of you?" When Chen Pai saw that Ling Xiao and Ling Jiao's relationship was so good, he became even angrier. Under his rage, he said some beastly words. "Originally, I just wanted to kill you and forget about it. But now, I feel that just killing you isn't enough. I'm going to castrate you and then kill you. I'm going to make you a dead eunuch in hell." Ling Xiao was also angry. Chen Pai's words made him very angry. Seeing that Ling Xiao had no intention of leaving, Ling Jiao suddenly took out a dagger and placed it against her neck. "Go! Hurry up and leave, Ling Xiao, I beg you. I don't want both of us to die here." "Pa!" Ling Xiao suddenly flicked his finger, and the dagger in Ling Jiao's hand flew away. He said very seriously, "My good sister, I didn't come here today to die with you. In the time I was in the Ling family, you were the one who treated me the best. How could I bear to let you die? Just wait and see how I deal with this beast in human clothing. Shen Dian, help me take care of Sister Jiao." "Yes, master." Shan Dian responded and flew to Ling Jiao's side. "The script isn't right," Chen Pai suddenly said sarcastically. "Shouldn't you be the one crying bitterly and running away reluctantly? Then that bitch will kill herself in front of me? Isn't that how it's played in movies? Could it be that your brain was damaged by something and you don't even know how to run away? Run away? Who do you think you are? Is it worth it for me to run away?" Ling Xiao looked at Chen Pai disdainfully and said, "You're also a reincarnation realm martial artist, right? You're indeed stronger than me with your high Grotto Heaven realm cultivation. But if you think you can scare me away like this, then you're a little too laughable." Chen Pai said proudly, "That's right, I'm a reincarnation realm martial artist, and I'm the #1 genius of Ascension Town. I'm a legend among the younger generation of Ascension Town." "Legend? If you're a legend, then I'll break this legend today and turn you into a joke." As Ling Xiao spoke, black flames surged in his body. The Hell Dragon seal had been activated. He didn't dare to be careless when dealing with Chen Pai. In fact, this guy's strength was even more terrifying than Lord Lin's 3 subordinates. He was even stronger than Lord Lin. Lord Lin was a Grotto Heaven realm martial artist, but Chen Pai was a high Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. After entering the cycle of reincarnation, every time Xiao Qin advanced a cultivation realm, he would gain an improvement in all aspects, surpassing that of ordinary cultivators. Therefore, Chen Pai was definitely stronger than Lord Lin, unless Lord Lin was hiding his strength. After all, this was the Black Tortoise Continent. Ling Xiao realized that there were many secret techniques to hide one's strength. Chen Kuan had hidden it from him previously. Ha, I seem to have heard the biggest joke in the world. You want to hurt me?" Chen Pai laughed impudently. Obviously, he didn't put Ling Xiao in his eyes. "Then give it a try." Boom! A terrifying aura rushed out of Ling Xiao's body, and the dense leaves above his head were suddenly blown to the side. Although Ling Zhao's entire body hadn't entered the hell human dragon form, he was already enveloped by the black-purple hell dragon fire. Ling Jiaojiao looked at this scene nervously, and her heart gradually calmed down. Because she was too excited and worried about Ling Xiao, she had lost her mind. She felt that Ling Xiao was definitely not a match for Qin Pai. After all, Qin Pai was a legend among the younger generation of Ascension Town. When he was only 12 years old, he had once killed a famous bandit who broke into Ascension Town. The strength of that famous bandit was already at the 4th Grotto Heaven realm at that time. Other than the adult martial artists of the Chen and Ling families, no one in the younger generation could be a match for that guy. However, that guy was killed by Qin Pai. Although no one saw the scene of the battle, when people found the bandit's corpse, Qin Pai was standing there, holding a blade, and his body was covered in the bandit's blood. From then on, Qin Pai became a legend of Ascension Town. Originally, most people thought so, but there was a little girl who told her father a shocking thing. That was, Qin Pai was in cahoots with that famous bandit. Or, to be more precise, before Qin Pai reincarnated, he was the leader of that famous bandit. Their group was a very terrifying group of bandits that roamed the Qin country. They killed people without batting an eyelid. And these things were all heard by the little girl from Qin Pai. Qin Pai told that famous bandit that he had helped him gain the trust and nurture of the Qin family. Then he suddenly attacked and stabbed that bandit to death. Before that famous bandit died, he looked at Qin Pai in disbelief. He said, "Boss, you use me." Chapter 2140. Her father's punishment silenced the little girl out of fear. From then on, the little girl never revealed a word about what she saw about Qin Pai. This little girl was Ling Jiaojiao. The little girl had grown up, but she hadn't forgotten that incident. She wanted Ling Xiao to escape, not only because she was afraid that Ling Xiao wouldn't be Qin Pai's match, but also because she was worried that Ling Xiao would offend the bandit gang behind Qin Pai. But now, she couldn't stop this battle. She knew Ling Xiao's temper. Fortunately, there were no outsiders here. Even if Qin Pai died, no one would find out about Ling Xiao for a while. Ling Xiao could take this opportunity to escape and conceal his identity. Everyone thought that you, Ling Xiao, were just a martial artist who had just entered the Grotto Heaven realm. Who would have thought that you had already cultivated to the middle stage of the Grotto Heaven realm? But do you really think that you can win against me with your cultivation? When Qin Pai saw the terrifying flames that were being released from Ling Xiao's body, he could also determine Ling Xiao's current cultivation level. Although he was a little surprised, he felt more relieved. Ling Xiao wasn't bad, but that was it. How would I know if I don't try? Ling Xiao, liked to challenge stronger enemies before I reincarnated. Now I'm no exception. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He admitted that Qin Pai was strong, but not strong enough to make him feel despair. He wasn't even qualified to use his previous moves. He could take Qin Pai's head with the newly learned Falling Star sword technique and Seal of Eternal Life. You're good at talking, but it's useless. I wanted to keep you alive to torture you, but I changed my mind. You're too talented. You'll be a problem if I keep you alive. I'm going to kill you. Go and die now. Black Serpent Devil Saber, Snake Swallows Elephant. Qin Pai had cultivated the Black Serpent Devil Saber, an intermediate jade rank martial art of the Black Serpent Devil sect. And Snake Swallows Elephant was the most powerful move of the Black Serpent Devil Blade. The black snake danced wildly. As the demonic saber's saber chi breathed in and out, it was as if it was going to swallow the entire world. The surrounding dead branches and leaves were blown up by the strong wind. The terrifying black saber chi was like a huge black snake that covered the sky. In the distance, Ling Jiaojiao's beautiful face turned pale. She was so scared that her whole body trembled. If Qin Pai had used such a move to deal with her, she would have died long ago. But Ling Xiao's expression did not change in the face of this powerful move. Rumble! Another terrifying aura rushed out. In that instant, Ling Xiao became ferocious and cold. The infernal dragon seal had been activated, and the infernal human dragon form had been activated. Facing Qin Pai, with Ling Xiao's current cultivation base, it was necessary for him to activate the hell human dragon form. Otherwise, even if he could defeat his opponent, he would be seriously injured. Ling Xiao did not have the habit of harming himself. What? Qin Pai was stunned, frightened by Ling Xiao's ferocious appearance. At this moment, Ling Xiao was like the son of the dragon god that walked out of hell. He looked so majestic and domineering. Dharma Seal, Universe Strike. The Heaven and Earth Strike was a technique he had comprehended from Neza's visualization. In the investiture of the gods, Neza had a very powerful Dharma treasure, the Universe Ring. When the Universe Ring was thrown out, it was as terrifying as a collision between heaven and earth. Although Ling Xiao's current cultivation base was not enough to unleash its full power, it was definitely not something that Qin Pai could resist. Qin Pai thought that Ling Xiao only knew the falling star sword technique, so he thought that he could easily kill Ling Xiao with the more powerful black serpent devil saber. But he never would have thought that the martial arts that Ling Xiao grasped was not only the falling star sword art. This new move was many times more powerful than the falling star sword technique. In that instant, what Qin Pai thought of was not to resist, but to escape. But the arrow was already knocked on the bow and had to be released. How could he still have the chance to escape? He could only condense all of his essence energy on the long saber in his hand, attempting to block Ling Xiao's Universe Strike. But sadly, it was useless. Under the Universe Strike, Qin Pai was directly blasted flying. His physical body was not even complete. He only had one breath left to struggle at death's door. How is this possible? Ling Jiaojiao was stunned. Even the divine canon felt somewhat shocked. Ling Xiao was actually so powerful. This was what they did not expect. Ling Xiao's attack actually directly beat Qin Pai into such a wretched state. It was virtually an instant kill. Qin Pai was even more in disbelief. His eyes were filled with horror and shock. He thought of many endings. Each ending was how Ling Xiao died, tragically how he was tortured. But in the end, the real tragedy was not Ling Xiao, but him. What martial art is this? This is not the Ling family's family martial art. You actually dared to use a martial art from before reincarnating. Aren't you afraid of exposing your identity? Qin Pai roared loudly. Idiot! Ling Xiao looked at Qin Pai with disdain, then walked forward and suddenly waved the iron sword in his hand. Ah! Qin Pai, who was already at his last breath, let out a desperate scream. He felt a chill down below, then an intense piercing pain. Something seemed to have left his body, bidding farewell to him forever. I said before you die, you will become a eunuch first. Ling Xiao said with an evil smile, You touched my sister, I will touch your brother. Ling Jiaojiao frowned. She wanted to say something, but held back. In the end, she still maintained her kind nature. Seeing Qin Pai's miserable appearance, she actually could not bear to see it. But thinking of Qin Pai's behavior just now, she hardened her heart. To pity such a person, it was better to pity a dog. Kill me, kill me, Qin Pai yelled painfully. Ling Xiao looked at Qin Pai indifferently, then turned to Ling Jiaojiao and said, Sister Jiaojiao, although I like your kindness, this world is not good enough. But in this world, kindness is not enough. You must learn to be cruel. In the future, you will be the head of the Ling family. You must learn to kill decisively. This guy, I will leave it to you to deal with. If possible, Ling Xiao really did not want Ling Jiaojiao to change her nature, but obviously this was not possible, because he would not stay in Yuhua town forever. If Ling Jiaojiao did not dare to kill an enemy, then she would be killed by others sooner or later. So Ling Jiaojiao must change. Kindness could be preserved, but kindness did not mean weakness and a saint's disease. When it was time to kill, she still had to kill. Ling Jiaojiao's eyes had a look of struggle. She held the sword and walked to Qin Pai's front. Finally, she clenched her teeth and finally stabbed the sword. Qin Pai's eyes widened, and he completely lost his breath. Perhaps until the moment of his death, he did not dare to believe that he would die in the hands of Ling Jiaojiao. Ugh! After killing Qin Pai, Ling Jiaojiao hurriedly ran to the side and vomited. It was really surprising. Living in this world, this was actually the first time Ling Jiaojiao killed someone. Chapter 2141. Looking at Ling Jiaojiao vomiting there, Ling Xiao sighed. No one was qualified to live in a greenhouse. The entire mystic world was filled with the same atmosphere. Either you die or I live. Ling Xiao stood aside, turned his head, and looked at the scenery in the distance. At this moment, Ling Jiaojiao needed to be strong. It was useless for others to help her. After a long time, Ling Jiaojiao took out water from the storage ring to rinse her mouth, and then asked, Ling Xiao, you just said that I will become the patriarch of the Ling family? What's going on? Ling Yuhua, that old bastard, only cares about benefits and not emotions. This kind of person can never unite a family. Ling Tianqiong, Ling Tianying, and the others are too cruel and ruthless, but not kind enough. If a family wants to rise, it's not enough to be cruel and cold. It needs emotions to unite everyone. So only you, Sister Jiao Jiao, are qualified to lead this family to become strong again. Ling Xiao explained, Actually, you don't want to see the Ling family destroyed, right? You and I are different. You and the Ling family are like blood, and I'm just the son of an adopted son. But I'm not strong enough. Ling Jiaojiao said, Strength is not a problem. With me here, it's only a matter of time before you break through to the Yin-Yang realm. During this time, I'll let that old bastard Ling Yuhua assist you. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You mean you want to go save them? Is it too late? Ling Jiaojiao asked. Of course it's too late. Ling Xiao said, I believe that the 8 Immortals County's county governor is targeting the Ling family not just to make the Chen family the master of Yuhua Town. There should be other reasons. Before they achieve their goal, they won't kill everyone in the Ling family. Well, someone will definitely be killed. It's inevitable. Okay, I'll listen to you. Ling Jiaojiao gritted her teeth. Okay, let's wait for one more person, and then we'll go together. Ling Xiao looked into the distance. A figure was rushing over. Boss Xiao, it's done, but Ling Jian and Ling Moyu were killed. Ling Yan dashed out of the forest and threw the heads of Chun Xingji and Chen Du on the ground. There were also a few storage rings that contained a large number of demon beast cores, which were obtained by the young disciples of the Ling family and the Qin family in the past 2 days. Very good. Ling Xiao nodded and placed all the demonic beast cores in the storage rings into his mountain river world. These things were enough for him to use in his cultivation. This time, it could be considered a great harvest. Everyone is here. Let's go. This time around, we must turn Yuhua Town upside down. A sinister sneer appeared on Ling Xiao's lips. The governor of the 8 Immortals County could use despicable methods to deal with the Ling family. Why would he want to face the other party head-on? There was no need for that. He could also play dirty. When it came to playing dirty, Ling Xiao did not think that anyone in the 8 Immortals County could outplay him. Before entering the samsara cycle, Ling Xiao had been imprisoned in Seawatch City by the Heavenly Demon Cult with the 5 Poisons Ultimate Formation. Although the 5 Poisons Ultimate Formation did not pose much of a threat to him, it would cause great harm to other martial artists. Among the large number of demon beast cores that Ling Xiao had obtained this time, there were hundreds that contained deadly poison. Coupled with the Pestilence Demon King's ability, it was not impossible for him to personally set up the 5 Poisons Ultimate Formation and trap the entire Qin family. You too should take these antidote pills first. They will ensure that you will not be attacked or poisoned when you enter the 5 Poisons Ultimate Formation. Let's set up the formation while it's dark. As long as the 5 poisons ultimate formation is complete, the entire Qin family will be our playground. Ling Xiao smiled coldly and casually tossed 1 antidote pill each to Ling Yan and Ling Jiaojiao. He thought that the county governor of the 8 Immortals County would never have dreamed that the people who would ultimately ruin his overall plan were none other than 3 brats. The sky was already dark, but the Chun family was still in a state of jubilation. There was no other reason other than the fact that those idiots of the Ling family had been tricked by the county governor and their clan leader, Chen Songhai, and had all had their inner strength dissipated. Now, all the adult martial artists of the Ling family had become useless and were imprisoned in the Chen family's martial arts practice field. The Chen family had originally wanted to get rid of these fellows as soon as possible and then dominate Yuhua town. However, from the county governor's words, it seemed that the Ling family had something that he wanted them to hand over. They could only kill 1 person every 2 hours. They wanted to force the Ling family's higher-ups to compromise. Yesterday, the Ling family had been defeated. Today was the 2nd day, and several people had already been killed. However, Ling Yuhua still refused to speak. However, it was obvious that this didn't matter to the Qin family. The county governor said that if the Ling family's higher-ups still didn't speak when the Yuhua sacrifice ended tomorrow, they would drag these people to the plaza and kill them all. Not a single one would be left alive. At the thought of this, the Chen family martial artists were especially excited. For many years, the Chen family and the Ling family had been fighting endlessly in Yuhua town. Both sides had victories and losses. The Chen family was ultimately unable to deal with the Ling family. The Ling family was also unable to destroy the Qin family. However, both sides were probably dissatisfied with such a situation, especially Chen Songhai. As the Yuhua king of the Qin nation, he wanted to see the Ling family destroyed, no matter what, and for his Qin family to dominate Yuhua town. The drinking at night was very enjoyable. No one noticed that a faint fog had seeped in from the outside and permeated the entire Qin family's courtyard. Ling Xiao had used a lighter poison this time and wasn't as ferocious as the poison that the people of Seawatch City had used on him previously. After all, it was better for some people of the Ling family to be alive so that they could serve Ling Jiaojiao. Ling Xiao could also plant a nail in the black tortoise continent for himself. In the future, it would be easier for him to attack the empire. As for how to make Ling Yuhua and the other old things submit to Ling Jiaojiao's management, this wasn't a problem for Ling Xiao at all. As a pharmacist, it wasn't a problem for him to concoct a medicine that would make people beg for death. He remembered that a long time ago he had obtained many memories from another world in the Yuehua school's secret realm. He was very clear that those memories didn't belong to him, but they gave him a lot of knowledge. Among them, there was a mention of something called the Life and Death Talisman. When this strange technique was activated, it would make people feel unbearably itchy and in so much pain that they wished they were dead. Unless there was an antidote, therefore, they would definitely be controlled. The elixir that Ling Xiao had concocted was even more terrifying than the Life and Death Talisman. It was used in conjunction with the illusion elixir that the ninjas used to deal with the sacred dynasty. It could make people unable to break free forever, but didn't do any harm to the body. It was enough to control the martial artists of the Ling family. Ling Xiao wasn't so naive as to use emotions to tie down those people. They were all unkind and heartless people. If not for the fact that Ling Xiao felt that they were still useful, he would have really wanted them to die in the hands of the Chun family. All right, we will take action early tomorrow morning. Rest well tonight. Chapter 2142. On the 3rd day of the Ascension, Sacrifice, the Chun family warriors woke up as usual, only to find that the sky was a little gray. A portion of the warriors felt a stomachache or were unusually tired. However, because there was no battle, no one felt that there was anything unusual about this. Even the 8 Immortals county governor, who lived in the Chun family, did not notice. When the first ray of sunlight shone into the Chun family, the sunlight seemed to be tainted with a strange color. But still, no one felt that there was anything wrong. At most, they thought that the weather today was a little strange. After a day and night of torment, the Ling family warriors were even more exhausted. They were even less likely to notice these abnormalities. Chunlong was the first to appear in front of the Ling family. At this moment, everyone in the Ling family hated and feared this Chun family descendant who was always smiling. Chunlong walked in front of Ling Yuhua and kicked him as though he was kicking a dead dog. "Old man, the taste of this cultivation dissipation powder is not bad, right? Back then, your adopted son Ling Tai was used on him and turned into a cripple. Now, your Ling family will also be defeated by the cultivation dissipation powder. You are really a family. Ha! Chun Songhai, get out here. Kill me if you want. I, Ling Yuhua, will not let you go even if I become a ghost." All these years, although our Chun family and Ling family have been secretly competing, no one has done such a despicable thing. You made an exception today. Even if you win, you will die a horrible death. I, Ling Yuhua, will leave first and wait for you on the road. Ling Yuhua ignored Chunlong and roared at Chun Songhai, who had just appeared. Chun Songhai sneered in disdain. "Ling Yuhua, you can be considered an experienced person. What's the use of this poison curse? The fact is that your Ling family will be consigned to eternal damnation. Even if I, Chun Songhai, die a horrible death, you will not be able to see it. I still win. Furthermore, your Ling family secretly hid the seal of eternal life and killed the mysterious snake envoy. Every crime is a death sentence. Not only will I die a horrible death, but I will also be rewarded for my meritorious service. County Governor, don't you think so?" As Chun Songhai spoke, he smiled at the prefectural governor. "That's right. This official's main purpose in coming to Ascension Town this time is to eradicate the rebellion and uphold justice. The Ling family deserved to die for their treachery. Moreover, he was unwilling to hand over the seal of eternal life, which was a heinous crime. Do you think a small family like yours is worthy of possessing the seal of eternal life?" The county governor glanced at Ling Yuhua coldly without any sympathy in his eyes. Of course, what he said was completely just a show of strength and a tiger skin. Dealing with the Ling family was just a deal between him and the Qin family. He wanted the seal of eternal life, and the Qin family wanted Ascension Town. Both sides had just formed a united front. "County Governor, every month, our Ling family has to give you the required amount of spirit stones. That's not cheap at all. How can you betray us like this?" Ling Yuhua roared. "Chun Songhai, there's no need to interrogate these people. I don't think they'll reveal the whereabouts of the seal of eternal life. Execute them in front of everyone today. Then, even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground, we have to find the seal of eternal life. Anyway, that thing won't disappear." The county governor had indeed accepted the spirit stones from the Ling family, but how could he admit it? At this moment, he wanted to destroy the Ling family even more. As long as the Ling family was destroyed, no one would know what he had done behind the scenes. "Ha ha ha! Did you hear that, Ling Yuhua? Today, all of you will die here. No one will be left alive." Chun Songhai laughed even more impudently. "Chun Songhai, remember this. Today, even if we die, the descendants of the Ling family will not let your Chun family rest in peace." Ling Yuhua was in despair. He had no chance of surviving. The Chun family and the county governor of the 8 Immortals County had teamed up to deal with him, and he had been poisoned by the cultivation dissipation powder. Today, only death awaited them. The only thing he could hope for was those children. He hoped that they would know what happened in Ascension Town and escape quickly. "Ha ha ha ha, oldling, are you still dreaming?" This time, the one who laughed was Chunlong. He said coldly, "I forgot to tell you something interesting just now. Today should be the last day of the Ascension sacrifice. Perhaps you are hoping that the descendants of the Ling family will avenge you. But unfortunately, I'm afraid none of the descendants of the Ling family are still alive. Before the Ascension sacrifice began, we had already issued a kill order to the Chun family disciples to kill all the young people of your Ling family. No. Impossible. It's impossible. Collapse. Complete collapse. Ling Yuhua, this old man, wouldn't care even if he died. As long as the Ling family had hope of revival, he wouldn't collapse like this. But at this moment he had completely collapsed. It was as if he had gone crazy. You are really ruthless. Do you want the Ling family to die without descendants? Ling Yuhua roared like an enraged lion. However, his hands and feet were bound by iron chains, and his internal energy had been dispersed by the Hua Qi, so he could not do anything at this time. You're right. We're going to eliminate the Ling clan completely from Yuhua town. Chen, Songhai sneered. You people are probably hoping that someone from the Ling family will stand up and reverse the situation, right? Don't be delusional. To tell you the truth, Master Lin and his 3 subordinates are all our people. Master Lin is a 10th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. His 3 subordinates are also 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artists. Do you think that with just the few good-for-nothings in the Ling family, who can reverse the situation? A bolt from the blue. Absolutely a bolt from the blue. Everyone in the Ling family almost fainted. Even after enduring a day and night of torture, most of them didn't collapse. But when they heard this news, they really couldn't take it anymore. Without descendants, there was no future. More than 70 children, all gone just like that. Ling Yuhua stood up and stared at the county governor and Chun Songhai. He knew that if he fought against these people with his physical body, he would die. But at this moment, there was no hope. Instead of being killed one by one, he might as well fight it out. Ling Tianying stood up. Ling Tianxiong also stood up. Almost everyone in the Ling family, except for those who had fainted from fear, stood up. Although these people might be scheming against each other for the sake of the family's power. But at this moment, there was only one thought in their minds. The children were dead. There was no hope. They only wanted revenge. If they could kill one, it would count. He would just end the rest of his life here. You want to risk your lives? Fine, I'll give you this chance. Chapter 2143. Chun Songhai waved his hand and gestured for the Chun family warriors beside him to kill everyone from the Ling family. Yes. The Chun family warriors stepped forward and circulated their inner strength in an attempt to kill the Ling family warriors. However, they were all stunned at that moment. They did not notice that Ling Yuhua had broken free from the heavy chains and smashed them on their necks. They were all killed in an instant. These people could no longer use their internal energy. Like the Ling family's warriors, they had become cripples. Fear began to spread. The Ling family members were confused. County Governor, what's going on? Chun Songhai circulated his inner strength and was horrified to find that although he could still use some, most of his inner strength had already been corroded. As a result, his current strength was only comparable to a 9th Grotto Heaven realm warrior. One had to know that he was a Yin-Yang realm warrior previously. He was still fine yesterday. What exactly happened tonight? Chun Songhai was horrified. The rest of the Chin family were also horrified. Even the county governor was horrified. Their internal energy was either completely gone, or it had decreased by a lot. What's going on? The county governor was also covered in cold sweat. At this moment, he suddenly realized that the air seemed to be filled with an abnormal smell. Also, there was something wrong with today's fog. Oh no, we've been tricked. The county governor exclaimed. It's a bit too late to think of it now. What a pity. You guys aren't stupid, but because you've won a beautiful victory, you've become a little carried away. You probably didn't think that us kids could turn the situation around. Ling Xiao, Ling Jiao, and Ling Yan walked out from where the voice came from. Ling Xiao had an indifferent sneer on his face. Ling Jiao was obviously nervous. After all, this was the first time something like this had happened to her. Ling Yan was much calmer. He was also a reincarnation realm warrior, but he had experienced much more terrifying dangers. Are you humans or ghosts? Everyone from the Chen family was horrified when they saw the three of them. Even the county governor and Chen Songhai, who had been sitting calmly on the fishing platform and appeared to be very calm and astute, panicked. The fact that these three people were still alive meant that something big had happened during the emergent sacrifice. Looking at the Ling family side, they were filled with doubts. Only these three people had appeared in the Ling clan. What about the others? Was he really going to die? Ling Xiao didn't care what they were thinking. He walked directly to the high platform of the martial arts practice field, shook his storage ring, and threw out a corpse. The corpse belonged to Qin Pai. Ling Xiao sat down and looked at everyone coldly. This scene caused the eyes of everyone in the Chen clan to tear apart. Although Qin Pai's corpse was incomplete, his face could still be seen clearly. The strongest genius of the Chen clan had actually died, and his corpse was right in front of them. Just how shocking was this? Just how shocking was this? Chunlong was dumbfounded. His son, Chen Pai, whom he was proud of, was a legend among the younger generation of Ascension Town. Now he was being sat on by Ling Xiao like a dead dog. He felt like his lungs were about to explode from anger. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. The one who died shouldn't be his son, but the trash of the Ling clan. Ling Xiao, I'm going to kill you. Chunlong roared furiously, and the aura in his body exploded. It was a pity that he became extremely weak. Save your energy. You've been poisoned by the 5-poison absolute kill formation. I'm already being merciful by not letting you die immediately. You still want to attack? Ling Xiao looked at Chunlong with disdain. Of course, don't think that I'll let you go. You killed my father. I'll take revenge personally. Poisoning you to death is too easy for you. Ling Yuhua looked at Ling Xiao in shock, but he was a little fearful, because he knew that Ling Xiao didn't have any feelings for the Ling clan. Therefore, Ling Xiao wouldn't save the rest of the Ling clan. Now that 3 people had come, what did this mean? It meant that the younger generation of the Ling clan was basically all dead. Only Ling Jiaojiao and Ling Yan were left. Ling Xiao, where are the rest of the Ling clan? Even though Ling Yuhua wasn't hopeful, he couldn't help but ask. You shouldn't be asking me this question. You should be asking Chen Songhai. Ling Xiao said coldly. They're all dead. Ling Jiaojiao answered the question for Ling Xiao. They were killed by those bastards from the Qin clan. However, Ling Xiao has already taken revenge for them. Over 100 of the younger generation of the Qin clan were also killed. Only the 3 of us are left to participate in the Ascension ritual. You're lying. Where are Lord Lin and his 3 subordinates? The county governor roared. Lord Lin is sleeping while guarding his beloved hell fruit. As for his 3 subordinates here, Ling Xiao threw out 3 heads and said, County Governor, this is a greeting gift for you. Not bad, right? His cold smile made the county governor's face turn extremely ugly. Who exactly was this young man? Not only did he kill everyone from the Qin clan, but he even killed the experts he sent. Was this possible? However, he had no choice but to believe it. The heads were lying on the ground. It was a bloody reality. It was too ridiculous. Everyone had such a feeling. Chen Zhao was a Grotto Heaven Realm 8 warrior. Qin Pai was a Grotto Heaven Realm 1 warrior. Lord Lin's 3 subordinates were all Grotto Heaven Realm 9 warriors. These people were actually killed by Ling Xiao. Also, their poisoning was actually caused by Ling Xiao. Who was this guy in the past? His strength and intelligence were outstanding, making it impossible for them to guard against him. All the plans should have been perfect, but something went wrong with this person. However, at this moment, regardless of whether they believed it or not, this was the truth. Chen Songhai and the county governor tried their best to calm down. They felt that they still had a chance because Ling Xiao didn't seem to have any feelings for the Ling clan. This also meant that they might be able to rope this person in. Thinking of this, the county governor said with a smile, "You're Ling Xiao, right? I can tell that in terms of strength and intelligence, you're extremely outstanding in the entire Ascension town. Our flawless plan has also been foiled by you, but you should know what the consequences are if you kill me. Qin Songhai is also the Ascension King of the Qin country. You're in the Qin country. If you kill him, it will also be very troublesome. Therefore, you really shouldn't make an enemy of us. Since you don't have any feelings for the Ling clan, why don't you join us? I'll definitely give you glory and wealth and let you soar." "County Governor, how can you do this? This kid killed all the juniors of our Qin clan. It's equivalent to cutting off our Qin clan's bloodline. How can you make him submit to us?" Qinlong roared furiously. Chapter 2144. Shut up. Chen Songhai glared at Qinlong and said, "A wise man submits to circumstances. As long as you don't die, you can still live in the future. As for a talent like Ling Xiao, once he joins us, we will be like a tiger with wings. So, we must let bygones be bygones." Chen Long was furious, but when he saw the look in Chen Songhai's eyes, he suddenly understood. This was just a temporary measure. As long as Ling Xiao couldn't stand the instigation and join them, then it would be time for them to kill Ling Xiao. Now that they were poisoned, they couldn't use their strength. Once they were cured, it would be Ling Xiao's end. Thinking of this, Qinlong shut his mouth. He had done a good job of being able to adapt to circumstances. "Ling Xiao, you are a member of the Ling family. Don't forget your ancestors. Don't betray your master for glory." A voice came from the Ling family. The one who shouted was Ling Tianqiong. "Hee, now you remember that I am a member of the Ling family? When you tried to dig up my father's grave in the Ling family cemetery and tried to kill me, did you ever think that I was a member of the Ling family? Now you have the face to lecture me? Let me tell you, if it wasn't for Jiao Jiao, I would have killed you first." Ling Xiao looked at Ling Tianqiong coldly and said. However, before he could finish, Ling Jiao had already made her move. The sharp blade pierced Ling Tianqiong's body. Ling Jiao's face was extremely cold. "Do you remember, Ling Tianqiong? When you killed my mother, you stabbed her in the same place. Today, I will return it to you. From today onwards, I, Ling Jiao, am the head of the Ling family. What I hate the most is family killing each other. In the future, if something like this happens again, I will personally kill him. Ling Tianqiong, he killed my mother and tried to kill my brother Ling Xiao. Today, I will kill him as a warning to all of you. Jiao, what nonsense are you talking about? How did you become the head of the Ling family?" Ling Tianying asked in confusion. "If I say she is, then she is. Ling Yuhua, will you agree?" Ling Xiao looked at Ling Yuhua with a smile and said, "The Ling family members that you brought out are all trash who only know how to kill each other. When faced with true danger, none of them can be of use. To be honest, if you had treated me just a little bit better back then, even if you had treated me like a servant, I would have done my best to save you today. But now, unless you acknowledge Jiao as your master, there's no need to talk about anything else. As for the other side trying to bewitch me, let's not waste any more time. Today, even if the prefectural governor were to die here and the Ascension King's entire family was wiped out, it would only be the work of a great bandit. Who saw me do it?" Ling Xiao looked coldly at Ling Yuhua before looking at the prefectural governor and Chen Songhai. The reason why he spoke so much was not just to show off. The longer the poisonous wind was released, the weaker the Chen clan would become. It would be easier to deal with them later. Hearing Ling Xiao's words, the Ling and Qin clan members lowered their heads and pondered. The Ling clan members were worried that once Ling Jiao became the head of the Ling clan, she would definitely become Ling Xiao's puppet. Wouldn't the Ling clan then become Ling Xiao's Ling clan? They didn't want that to happen. On the other hand, the Chun clan members were thinking about how to kill Ling Xiao. As long as they could kill Ling Xiao, the situation today would definitely be reversed. To be honest, although they believed that Ling Xiao could defeat a 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist, in reality, no one believed it. Almost everyone believed that Ling Xiao had similarly used poison to cause the Chun clan's younger generation to lose miserably. Among the Chun clan members, a figure quietly approached Ling Xiao. This person was considered one of the more special ones in the Qin clan. He was Chun Long's younger brother. Qin Mo's strength was not outstanding in the Qin clan. His elder brothers, Chun Ran and Qin Long, were both 10th Grotto Heaven realm martial artists, and he was only at the 8th Grotto Heaven realm. However, when Chun Mo was young, he accidentally swallowed a strange 10,000 poisonous snake. Since then, he was immune to all poisons. This time, Ling Xiao used the 5 poison absolute kill array to seal the Qin clan. Everyone else was affected. Only this Qin Mo was safe and sound. Qin Mo decided to do something for the Qin clan. He believed that Ling Xiao's cultivation was not strong. As long as he chose the right time to launch a sneak attack, he would definitely be able to kill Ling Xiao. Other than the Chun clan members, no one else noticed Chun Mo's actions. The members of the Qin family were a little nervous, but they were also a little excited. Chun Mo used his 8th Grotto Heaven realm cultivation to launch a sneak attack on Ling Xiao. If he succeeded, then their Qin clan would be the biggest winner today. Moreover, they believed that Chun Mo would succeed. The reason why Ling Xiao could kill a 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist was definitely because he used a sinister and cunning method like this. Their young master Chen Mo would not be poisoned. These shameless fellows of the Qin clan would definitely not think that their actions were even more shameless. If they did not act so shamelessly, Ling Xiao would not have played such a trick. Boss, be careful. Ling Yan was the first to notice the danger. He immediately stood in front of Ling Xiao. This kid was completely subdued by Ling Xiao. Now he was completely loyal to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao did not give him any drugs. For this kind of person, as long as you could convince him, he would be willing to follow you. Ling Yan's warning allowed Ling Xiao to see Qin Mo. However, Qin Mo had already launched his attack. He used the Qin clan's strongest technique, the suicide saber technique. Although this saber technique's name was not outstanding, it could be heard from its name. Once it was used, someone would die. This was a saber technique that could kill 1,000 enemies but damage 800 oneself. Therefore, the Chun clan members usually did not use it. Once it was used, it would definitely be to kill. The terrifying saber energy rushed towards him. Ling Yan felt as if his body was about to be split open. Ling Yan, get out of the way. At this moment, he heard Ling Xiao's voice. Yes. Ling Yan did not hesitate, because he remembered the scene of Ling Xiao killing Lord Lin's second subordinate in the Feather Mountain Range. He should believe in Ling Xiao's ability. At the critical moment, he dodged. Die, kid! Qin Mo roared. The saber energy was filled with a deadly aura. His eyes were actually bleeding. I haven't lived long enough. Why should I die? Ling Xiao sneered contemptuously. Shadow shift. He had already used this kind of trick when he was still in the martial vein realm. However, he had not used it in a long time because it was too boring. He wanted to use it today because he thought it would be more fun. Crack! The saber energy split open a person's body. Chun Mo's face was filled with ecstasy. However, in the blink of an eye, this ecstasy turned into anger and fear. The person who was split open was not someone else, but a martial artist from the Qin clan. Ling Xiao had swapped places with that person at the critical moment. Chapter 2145. Qin Mo quickly retreat. Although he was extremely shocked that Ling Xiao could dodge Qin Mo's attack, at this very moment, Chen Songhai was very clear that they had underestimated Ling Xiao. Absolutely could not let Chen Mo stay there. Retreat? Since you're here, don't retreat anymore. Ling Xiao's icy voice sounded out. A streak of resplendent starlight streaked across the pervading smoke. Chen Mo was still stunned there, not doing anything. But after a moment, his upper body started to move. Turns out that Ling Xiao's sword was too fast and already cut open his body. It was just that the wound only appeared now. Chen Mo was killed by Ling Xiao with just one sword. Falling star sword art? Gold-grade, low-tier sword technique? Practically everyone was stunned. Even though there were similar rumors before, saying that Ling Xiao defeated a jade-grade middle-tier martial technique with a gold-grade low-tier sword technique. But rumors were rumors after all. Those who had not seen it with their own eyes refused to believe that it was the truth, even if beaten to death. But today they saw it. Falling star sword art, this kind of martial technique that could be bought at any random martial art stall, was actually utilized by Ling Xiao to such a transcendent extent. How terrifying did this boy's talent have to be? How powerful was his control over his martial skills? A martial artist using a powerful martial technique to kill the enemy was not worthy of shock. Using the worst martial technique to defeat a martial artist stronger than oneself. This was a miracle. But such a miracle, Ling Xiao achieved it. Towards this scene, the most shocked was probably none other than Ling Yuhua. The reason why Ling Yuhua allied with Ling Xiao was purely because Ling Xiao knew alchemy. He was completely indifferent towards Ling Xiao's martial arts talent and whatnot, and did not have any expectations either. But he did not think that this little fellow's attainments in martial arts were actually so terrifying too. Regretful beyond measure. If he had cared a little more for Ling Xiao in the past, today's matter would not have ended up like this. Perhaps those young juniors of the Ling family would not have to die either. The Ling family's martial artists were still just shocked. As for the Chen family's martial artists, besides being shocked, they were also extremely frightened and furious. Chen Mo, who was at the 8th Grotto Heaven Realm, had been killed by Ling Xiao with a single sword strike. What's more, his opponent was using such a trashy sword skill. "Brett, you're dead!" Qin Songhai roared. He had already forgotten what it meant to look at the bigger picture. He had just told his son, Qin Long, to endure it. However, when Chen Mo was killed, he couldn't hold it in any longer. He had 3 sons. Although his eldest and second sons were both very talented, the one he doted on the most was his 3rd son, Chen Mo. Now that Chen Mo had been killed by Ling Xiao, he felt a heart-wrenching pain and fury. "I don't know if I'll die or not, but your Qin clan is dead for sure." Ling Xiao's cold voice rang out. "Originally, I had no intention of getting involved in the dispute between the two of you. Once I kill Qinlong and avenge my father, this matter will be over. But you actually dared to sneak attack me. Do you really think I'm a pushover who doesn't dare to kill? Ling Yan, kill Qin Ran." "Yes, boss." Ling Yan was also almost cut in half by Chen Mo's saber just now. Previously, he was also almost killed at Yuhua mountain range. He had nowhere to vent his anger. Hearing Ling Xiao's words, he immediately attacked. With just one slash, Qin Ran, who was already lying on the ground, was killed. There was no room for resistance at all. Chen Songhai howled hysterically. "I see that you people don't seem to understand your current situation. What qualifications do you have to negotiate with me? Today in Yuhua Town, I, Ling Xiao, have the final say. Whatever I say is what it is. Whoever dares to oppose will have to die." Ling Xiao stood on the training field and swept his cold gaze across everyone. Domineering, arrogant, and cold. Ever since he had entered the samsara, he hadn't felt so carefree for a long time. During those days when he was aggrieved, he clearly saw the fickleness of human nature. Today he was no longer aggrieved, nor would he be soft-hearted. "I am willing to serve Ling Jiaojiao as my master." Suddenly, in the Ling family, the eldest son, Ling Taning, knelt on the ground and said loudly, Looking at Ling Tianying, Ling Zhao's gaze was still cold. How could he not know what these people were thinking? They just wanted to feign civility and wait for the antidote to recover their strength before dealing with him. Ling Xiao. However, these idiots didn't know that he, Ling Xiao, already had a backup plan. He wasn't an idiot who only cared about his head. Ling Yuhua is willing to hand over the position of clan leader and pass it to Ling Jiaojiao. Ling Yuhua finally spoke. This old man, who had always valued benefits, understood that this was the only way for the Ling family to rise again. Otherwise, with Ling Zhao's personality, he would never save the Ling family. Since Ling Yuhua knelt, how could the others not kneel? At this moment, the Ling family knelt in front of Ling Jiaojiao and announced that Ling Jiaojiao was their master. Distribute the antidote. Ling Xiao nodded at Ling Jiaojiao. The so-called antidote was made by him last night. He really couldn't do anything about the cultivation dissipation powder if it took too long. However, a day or two was nothing to him. Of course, this antidote wasn't just a simple antidote. Although it could help the Ling family get rid of the cultivation dissipation powder, it would also cause the Ling family to be poisoned by another type of poison. It was the life and death illusion powder that Ling Xiao made. After being poisoned, as long as a special incantation was used, the victim would suffer a fate worse than death. This was also the key to Ling Zhaojiao's future control of the Ling family. If Ling Jiaojiao was killed, then the poisoned people would all die. This poison was closely linked to Ling Jiaojiao's soul energy. However, the Ling family didn't know this. Although some people hesitated for a moment, they still took the antidote in the end. My strength is recovering. This really is the antidote. As the antidote entered his body, Ling Yuhua felt that the internal energy that was dissipated by the cultivation dissipation powder was quickly recovering. He couldn't help but get excited. As long as they recovered, the Chen family would be finished today. Chen Songhai, why aren't you pledging loyalty to Ling Jiaojiao? Do you want us all to die? The prefectural governor suddenly lowered his voice and said to Chen Songhai, "How can you be so stupid? If you die now, you'll have nothing. But as long as you don't die, we can mobilize the mysterious snake demon sex branch in the 8 Immortals County and the 24 bandits to deal with the Ling family and Ling Xiao. That kid is dead for sure." After speaking, the prefectural governor actually knelt down and said to Ling Xiao, "Young hero Ling, this official admits defeat today. This official is willing to recognize you as my master. From now on, I will loyally assist you and help you achieve great things. You really know how to steer with the wind." Ling Xiao smiled. He didn't have any intention of killing this prefectural governor. Keeping this guy alive was more useful than killing him. As long as he used the life and death illusion powder to control him, he would definitely be useful in the future. Keeping such a person alive was much more useful than keeping him alive. Give him the antidote, Ling Yan. Chapter 2146. Give the county governor the antidote. Ling Xiao said with a smile, "But boss, if this guy recovers his strength, we won't be able to stop him." Ling Yan said with a frown, "I believe that the county governor won't do anything rash." Ling Xiao said with a faint smile, "All right." Although Ling Yan did not know what Ling Xiao was thinking, he understood that Ling Xiao was not a child. He was a warrior who had reincarnated and must have thought of a way to control the county governor. That was why he took the antidote and gave it to the county governor. Of course, the elixir also contained the life and death illusion powder. If he could not completely control these guys, Ling Xiao did not dare to give them any antidote. Chen Songhai is willing to lead the Qin family to submit to young hero Ling. All the previous grudges will be written off. Seeing that the county governor had taken the antidote, Chen Songhai panicked and said loudly, "Hee, didn't you just say that I'm dead meat?" Ling Xiao looked at Chen Songhai mockingly. "That was my ignorance. I hope that young hero Ling will forgive me." Qian Songhai smiled flatteringly, but his smile was clearly a little forced. Yes, Ling Xiao had killed so many members of the Qin family. How could he be loyal to Ling Xiao? Ling Xiao also knew about this. However, to be honest, Ling Xiao really could not bring himself to destroy the Qin family. After all, there were still many elderly women and children in the Qin family. Therefore, he had to control these people so that they would never have the chance to take revenge. Perhaps it was a good idea. Of course, if these people really wanted to rebel in the future, it would give him a chance to make up his mind. Ling Yan, give them the antidote. Ling Xiao said with a smile. This was a test, and it was also an excuse for Ling Xiao to be ruthless. If the Chun family wanted to harm him after taking the antidote, he would be sorry. When that happened, he would no longer have the slightest bit of sympathy. He would not show mercy to those who deserved to be killed. Ling Yan had no choice but to distribute the antidote to everyone in the Ling family. About 15 minutes later, everyone from the Qin clan and Ling clan had returned to their original state of cultivation. However, for the time being, no one had harmed Ling Xiao. Because no one was a fool, they knew the principle of shooting the bird that pokes its head out. Qianlong. Today the Chun and Ling families are all here. The county governor is also here. Kill yourself in front of everyone. You killed my father. I will not let you off. This is considered a more dignified death for you. Ling Xiao suddenly looked at Qianlong. He might be able to forgive others, but he definitely could not forgive Qianlong. This person had to die. That's right, I did kill your father, but he deserved it. I asked him to hand over the seal of eternal life, and he actually dared to refuse. If I don't kill him, who should I kill? Today, Qianlong finally spoke the truth. It wasn't that Ling Tai was drunk and wanted to kill him, so he was killed instead. All of this was for the sake of the seal of immortality. You like the seal of immortality that much? Ling Xiao looked at Qianlong coldly. The seal of immortality is the treasure of the palace of immortality. I'm not the only one who likes it. I believe that no one in the Black Tortoise continent doesn't like it. Qianlong said, All right, I'll let you see what the real seal of immortality is like. Ling Xiao originally wanted Qianlong to kill himself, but he suddenly changed his mind. Qianlong killed his father because of the seal of immortality. He would use the seal of immortality to end Qianlong's life. He slowly walked towards Qianlong, his cold eyes revealing a strong killing intent. Qin clan, listen up. Today, I'll only kill Qianlong. However, if anyone wants to attack me, I don't mind destroying the entire Qin clan. Ling Xiao did not want to slaughter. However, if someone insisted on forcing him, then he would definitely not show any mercy. Kid, if my strength hadn't recovered, it might be easy for you to kill me. However, now that my cultivation has recovered, you still want to kill me? That's wishful thinking. Don't forget, I'm a 10th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. Qianlong looked at Ling Xiao coldly and said, You can go to hell with your useless father. After saying that, Qianlong fully released his 10th Grotto Heaven realm aura. A long saber appeared in his hand. The terrifying saber aura seemed to be able to split the space directly. Behind him, the saber soul appeared. The long saber in his hand was even more powerful. The wind raged, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. Ling Yan and Ling Jiaojiao stood there, looking at Ling Xiao nervously. They did not know what Ling Xiao was thinking, but the situation was too dangerous. Father, take this opportunity to tie Jiaojiao up. That Ling Xiao will definitely hold back. At this moment, Ling Tianying secretly said to Ling Yuhua. Just now, Ling Yuhua agreed to be loyal to Ling Jiaojiao for the antidote. However, now that his cultivation had recovered, how could he easily give up his position as the clan leader? However, this old fox did not dare to act rashly because he was worried that there would be other unforeseen circumstances. Let's wait first. I'm afraid that there might be a problem with the antidote. Ling Yuhua looked at Qianlong. He believed that if there was a problem with the antidote, it would show on Qianlong. On the other side, the Chen clan was also eager to try. Big brother, you only have this one son, Qianlong. If he dies, you'll really have no more descendants. What are you waiting for? Why aren't you taking action? Our cultivation bases have all been restored. The one who spoke was Chen Songhai's younger brother. Chen Songhai was also worried that there was a problem with the antidote like Ling Yuhua. Acting rashly might lead to trouble. However, he could not watch his only remaining son, Qianlong, be killed without doing anything. However, it seemed that Qianlong had the upper hand. The aura that Ling Xiao released was at most 6th Grotto Heaven Realm. It was impossible for him to defeat Qianlong, who was 10th Grotto Heaven Realm. At this moment, Chen Songhai was actually hoping that Qianlong could kill Ling Xiao. It was this moment of hesitation that caused him to lose the best chance to save his son's life. Ling Xiao took a step forward. Instantly, black flames rolled. His body turned into the primordial hell demon dragon. Although he did not completely turn into a dragon, he still looked ferocious and terrifying. At that moment, his aura became extremely powerful. Farewell, Qianlong, my enemy. Dharma characteristic seal universe strike. Ling Xiao flipped his hands and formed a seal. Then he blasted it out. At this moment, Qianlong's saber aura had already pierced through the air. However, it was useless. The saber aura was shattered by the universe strike like a piece of paper. Then, Qianlong's body was sent flying. It was as if he was hit by something. When he fell to the ground, he was already on the verge of death. Immortality seal. Although the immortality seal that Ling Xiao used was slightly different from the one that the county chief had seen, he was sure that it was the immortality seal. His voice rang in the Qin clan's courtyard. Everyone present was shocked. Ling Xiao had learned the immortality seal. The immortality seal was indeed in the Ling clan. Ling Xiao looked coldly at Qianlong. He said mockingly, "Are you surprised, Qianlong? Your guess is right. The immortality seal is in the Ling clan's martial arts hall." Chapter 2147. Ling Yuhua, that old fool, was heartless. If he had treated my father Ling Tai better, the seal of eternal life would have belonged to him already. Unfortunately, he didn't. That's why my father had always wanted to take the secret of this item to his grave. Do you still remember when I used a carriage to drag my father's corpse to the Ling family's cemetery to be buried? At that time, he wasn't actually dead. He left his last breath just to tell me the secret of the seal of eternal life. Ling Xiao didn't hide the fact that he had obtained the seal of eternal life, because none of the people present today could bring the secret out. He had set up a very interesting effect on the illusion of life and death powder. Whoever dared to tell this secret to outsiders would bleed to death on the spot. For an ordinary pharmacist, this might not be possible. But for Ling Xiao, this wasn't a big deal. As long as he was willing, he could easily do it. If he did this, those people who died couldn't blame him for being ruthless. You killed my only remaining son. I'll fight you to the death. Chen Songhai finally went crazy. He couldn't care less anymore. His cultivation had recovered to 1/10 of the half-step yin-yang realm, and his body produced a small amount of yin-yang energy. This strength was several times stronger than the 10th Grotto Heaven realm. He felt that he could avenge his son. Ling Xiao looked coldly at Chen Songhai and said, "Qianlong's death was his own fault. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Chen Songhai looked at Ling Xiao with disheveled hair and laughed crazily. "You only know that your father Ling Tai was killed by my son, but you don't know who ordered him to do it. You also don't know that your mother didn't die from dystocia at all. I only bribed the midwife and tampered with the delivery of your mother. I originally planned to kill you and your mother together, but I didn't expect you to survive. This is really heaven's will." What? It was impossible for Ling Xiao to know about this. Even Ling Yuhua was shocked when he heard about it. "Is what you said true?" Ling Xiao's face turned icy cold. The killing intent in his eyes made him look like a demon. Although he had already retracted the Hell's Dragon seal and returned to his original form, the terrifying black flames burned even more fiercely. He had never seen his mother since he was born. She thought it was a difficult labor, but she didn't expect that she was killed by someone. That person even wanted to kill him. Fortunately, he had entered the cycle of reincarnation and relied on his profound world physique to avoid this calamity. Otherwise, he would be a dead, nascent soul now. Is it very painful? Do you really want to kill me? Don't worry. I will soon let you go down to accompany your father and mother. Chen Songhai laughed heartily, feeling very pleased with himself. Boom! The black flames grew to a height of more than 10 meters and took the form of a terrifying ancient hell dragon. It roared in the void. Ling Xiao had originally planned to let the life and death illusion powder take effect before killing Qin Songhai. But now he didn't want to do that. Qin Songhai had to be killed by him personally. Fortunately, Qin Songhai's cultivation had just broken through to the half-step Yin-Yang realm, so he could still kill him. Father, mother, although you are only my parents who entered the cycle of reincarnation, you still gave me life. Watch quietly from the heavens and see how I will avenge you. Ling Xiao raised his head and looked at the sky, his voice echoing in the Chen family's courtyard. His body began to change gradually. Avenge? You think you can? Do you really think you are a match for me with your current strength? I thought you had some tricks up your sleeve to control me, but it seems like you don't have any. You idiot! You are really as stupid as your parents. Your father was ostracized by the Ling family, but after receiving a little help from me, he treated me as his benefactor and didn't guard against me at all. You are really as stupid as him. Qin Songhai looked at Ling Xiao. The angrier Ling Xiao was, the happier he was. He wanted Ling Xiao to die. He wanted Ling Xiao to die in agony. He wanted Ling Xiao to accompany his children and grandchildren in hell. Qin Songhai, I really didn't want to do anything to your Qin family. I was satisfied with killing Qinlong. But you have successfully aroused my demonic nature. Everything that happened next was caused by you. I won't let you die so quickly. I want you to witness the destruction of your family with your own eyes. Ling Xiao's eyes turned blood red. This would only happen when one's killing intent reached its peak. In order to kill you, I will show you the true seal of eternal life. Activate Hell Dragon Seal, Dragon Transformation. As Ling Xiao's black flames enveloped him, his body began to change rapidly. Unlike before, Ling Xiao did not transform into a diabolical dragon man this time, but a true ancient diabolical dragon. Roar! A dragon's roar sounded in the Chen family's courtyard. A huge hell demon dragon that was dozens of meters long hovered in the air. This huge hell demon dragon was burning with black and purple flames, as though it had flown out from hell. Ling Xiao could feel that after transforming into a dragon, his strength had increased by at least 10 times. Right now, he would even dare to fight a Yin-Yang realm martial artist, let alone Chen Songhai. Of course, winning or losing was another matter altogether. Everyone looked at this scene in horror, and for a moment they were all stunned. They were stunned, but Ling Xiao was not. The mystical dragon's eyes were completely locked on Chen Songhai, and a thunderous roar came from its huge mouth. Chen Songhai, you can't blame me for the destruction of your Qin family. Die! Following this terrifying roar, the mystical dragon opened its bloody mouth, and black flames brewed in its huge mouth. At that moment, the temperature between heaven and earth seemed to increase by several times. Even standing on the ground felt scalding hot. If not for the fact that everyone present was a martial artist, they would have been scalded to death. Kill! A huge black fireball was spat out from the mystical dragon's mouth, burning an obvious black mark in the air. Even the elements were charred black. It's over. The county governor closed his eyes helplessly. He knew that his efforts had been in vain. This time, the Qin clan had truly lost completely. Even a Yinyang realm martial artist in the first level of hell would not dare to take Ling Zhao's attack, let alone Chen Songhai. Its power was too terrifying. Moreover, it released ancient hell dragon fire that was even hotter than divine fire. Chen Songhai did not seem to have given up. I don't care if you're a human or a dragon. If you're a human, I'll kill you. If you're a dragon, I'll slay you. You killed my descendants, so I'll use your dragon blood as a sacrifice to them. Qin family saber techniques, strongest profundity, ghost saber. Chapter 2148. As his inner energy was sucked dry by the long blade in his hand. In Chen Songhai's hand, the long blade became huge and emitted wisps of black gas. It even emitted a ghostly wail. It's a pity that you won't have the chance. Ling Zhao's voice came from the mouth of the mystical dragon. The huge hell dragon fireball easily swallowed the so-called ghostly blade. Then it swallowed Chen Songhai as well. The fireball didn't stop because of this. It continued to roll. After killing dozens of people from the Qin family, it gradually extinguished. Everyone looked at this scene in horror. Ling Yuhua was so regretful that his heart was bleeding. If only I had given him even a little bit of affection back then, our Ling family would have become the overlord of Yuhua town. Father, don't think so much. No matter how strong he is, he's still a child. Now that your cultivation has fully recovered, hurry up and kidnap Jiao Jiao and force Ling Xiao to work for our Ling family. Ling Tianying continued to instigate. Shut up. If you say another word, I'll kill you. Ling Yuhua had already made a mistake once. He didn't want to make the same mistake a second time. As a smart person, he had already seen that Yuhua town couldn't stop Ling Zhao's future. As long as a martial artist who had entered the reincarnation realm didn't die, he would definitely break through to the rebirth realm. If he listened to him now, Ling Xiao would definitely help the Ling family in the future if they were in trouble. That was the best way to go about it. Roar! The moment he killed Chen Songhai, Ling Xiao felt that the energy in his body had reached its limit. The door to cultivation had been destroyed. The large amount of energy that had been accumulated in his body flowed into his meridians and filled his body once again. Breakthrough. Advanced rank 1 Grotto Heaven realm cultivation. It was equivalent to an ordinary martial artist's 9th Grotto Heaven realm cultivation. Ling Xiao removed the Hell Dragon seal and returned to his original form. He looked at everyone coldly. With his current cultivation, even if he didn't activate the Hell Dragon seal, most of the people present wouldn't be his match. The county governor, who had wanted to fight to the death, had completely admitted his defeat. Today was simply a nightmare for him. It was a nightmare from heaven to hell. His original plan was to destroy the Ling family and find the seal of eternal life. Then he could go to the Eternal Life Palace and ask for a reward. Joining the Eternal Palace was the ultimate dream of countless warriors in the Black Tortoise continent. Everyone, don't be afraid. He won't let our Qin clan off anyway. Let's attack together and kill that brat. When Chen Songhai's younger brother saw that Chen Songhai had been killed, the Qin family really had nothing to lose. He roared madly and waved the saber in his hand. The Chen family's martial artists were also filled with righteous indignation as they charged towards Ling Xiao. Ling Yuhua, take your men and annihilate the Qin family. Leave no one alive. Ling Xiao felt that he was a little too merciful. He wanted to let these people go time and time again, but they didn't take his kindness seriously at all. Instead, they thought that he was weak and easy to bully. Yes, although he was not used to this role, Ling Yuhua still obeyed. Ling Xiao was very satisfied with his choice. Therefore, when Ling Yuhua led the Ling family to attack, he activated the life and death fantasy powder in the Qin family's bodies. The Chun family members, who were originally clamoring, were all lying on the ground and howling in pain. This scene was even more shocking. You're right. The antidote I just gave you contains a kind of poison. This kind of poison won't affect your life and cultivation. But if anyone betrays Ling Jiao, betrays me, then he'll beg for death just like them. Ling Zhao's words made Ling Yuhua shudder in his heart. If he had listened to Ling Tianying and kidnapped Ling Jiao, then the consequences would have been terrifying. Today was definitely the end of the world for the Qin family. To the Ling family, although they had also gone through a painful experience, compared to the Qin family it was really much better. The Chun family's people were all killed. The Chun family's courtyard was also burned down. Of course, before that, everything that the Chen family could use was swept clean by the Ling family. Ling Xiao kept most of it in his mountain river world. In the future, if there were any Qin family members who wanted revenge, they would definitely come for him. Therefore, it was only right that he got most of the Qin family's things. Only when the fire started burning did the entire Yuhua town know what had happened. 1 spread to 10. 10 spread to 100. However, the stories that were spread were all modified. Of course, it was basically true. The Chen family used a sinister and cunning plan to frame the Ling family, but they were killed by the Ling family instead. Although Yuhua town was just a town, it had a population of more than 200,000. There were more than 10 families that were presentable. However, the news spread very quickly. In just one day, the streets were basically talking about this matter. Of course, this story was missing a key character, and that was Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao purposely erased his existence. He did not want to be in the limelight. The Sky Emperor who ruled the Sky Dragon, Divine Phoenix, and White Tiger continents disdained such limelight. Furthermore, this would save him a lot of trouble. Why wouldn't he do it? A town with more than 200,000 people should not be underestimated. In reality, it encompassed a very large territory. This was also the real reason why the Chen family and the Ling family were fighting for the position of Yuhua town's overlord. With resources, the families would be able to become stronger. The next day was also the day that the Yuhua sacrifice ended. The 8 Immortals County's governor was going to announce the future governor of Yuhua town, which was also the family that had the right to manage Yuhua town. On this day, dozens of families and many martial artists from Yuhua town came to the city to watch the show. The spacious square of Yuhua town was packed with people. Roughly speaking, there were at least 40 to 50,000 people. Apart from the representatives of Yuhua town's families, there were also martial artists from other towns and cities in the 8 Immortals County. After all, the future of Yuhua town was also related to their plans. Among them, the most eye-catching ones were the 3 major families of the county. The 3 major families of the county were the Lin family, which had the governor's residence as its core. The 8 Immortals County's governor, Lin Yuan, was one of the core figures of the Lin family. The Shun family, which focused on business, and the Zhou family, which focused on farming and animal husbandry. Although the focus of the 3 major families was different, they all had one thing in common. That was to wholeheartedly nurture martial artists and develop their own families like sections. They were divided into 2 systems, direct disciples and external disciples. Direct disciples were their own family's disciples, while external disciples were recruited from outside. There was no distinction between high and low, only the strong and the weak. If they were strong enough and had good talent, external disciples could still flaunt their prowess in front of direct disciples. In the entire 8 Immortals County, there were close to 100 towns and cities that were ruled by these 3 major families. For them to send a representative to Yuhua Town today, it meant that they were very concerned about what happened in Yuhua Town this time. Chapter 2149. A few people with cold expressions stood in the crowd. They were holding martial artist weapons and exuded dense killing intent. If someone recognized the middle-aged man, they would recognize him as Chen Meng, who had been adopted by the Qin clan to the 8 Immortals County Qin clan. Qin Meng was Chen Songhai's true eldest son. Of course, he had changed his surname to Xin Meng. Xin Meng was now in his 30s. His cultivation seemed to be even more terrifying than Chen Songhai's. His gaze was fixed on the high platform in the plaza. Today, the Chen clan's enemies, the Ling clan, were going to take over Yuhua town. How could he let these people get what they wanted? The person behind Xin Meng was his junior brother in the Xin clan. After Xin Meng was adopted by the Xin clan, he had a high status in the Xin clan because of his outstanding talent. Breaking through to the Yin-Yang realm at the age of 30 might not be worth mentioning compared to those peerless geniuses, but in the 8 Immortals County it was very impressive. He did not believe the rumors at all. He always believed that the Ling clan had used despicable means to plot against the Qin clan, causing the Qin clan to be wiped out. Actually, the truth was not important to him. He only wanted the Ling clan to pay the price. After all, although he was adopted by the Xin clan, he was still a member of the Qin clan. Young master, shouldn't we get the infernal fruit first before considering revenge? A person behind Xin Meng whispered. He spoke very carefully as if he was afraid of offending Xin Meng. Xin Meng said in a deep voice that Lord Lin is guarding the hell fruit. Ling Xiao saw it long ago. Even if we want to get the hell fruit, we have to kill that Ling Xiao first. That brat is not strong. Kill him first and stop the news of the hell fruit from leaking. Then we can deal with the Ling clan slowly. Because the story did not mention Ling Xiao's great achievements, Xin Meng did not know how strong Ling Xiao was. In his eyes, Ling Xiao was just a bug that he could crush at any time. But young master, the 3 major clans of the 8 Immortals County are here today. I'm afraid it's not a good time to make a move. Another person said, You are right. Then, let's wait for them to go back and find a chance. Xin Meng took a deep breath and said, In any case, that Ling Xiao is not valued by the Ling family. It will be very easy to kill him. As he spoke, his cold gaze suddenly turned towards Ling Xiao, who was in the crowd. Ling Xiao frowned and looked at Xin Meng. He saw Chen Songhai's shadow on Xin Meng's face and could not help furrowing his brows. Ling Yuhua, does Chen Songhai have an illegitimate child outside? Ling Xiao suddenly asked. Ling Yuhua did not know why he asked such a question, but he still shook his head and said, I am not sure about the illegitimate child, but Chen Songhai had long ago given one of his sons to the Shen family of the 8 Immortals County for adoption. Do you see that figure? Ling Xiao pointed in Xin Meng's direction and asked. Ling Yuhua looked up and was instantly alarmed. Not good. This Xin Meng probably knew what happened to the Qin clan and came back to take revenge. It is said that this guy has outstanding talent and has been treated as one of the successors by the Xin clan. With your current cultivation, I'm afraid you're not any weaker than me. What are you afraid of? A mere Xin Meng can scare you to this extent? Ling Xiao glared at Ling Yuhua and said, Could it be that what happened last night scared you so much that you peed your pants? The Ling Yuhua that I know is a person who does not even recognize his own family. Ling Yuhua smiled bitterly and was speechless. He did not know how to reply. After what happened last night, he really felt that he had become timid all of a sudden. Just a little bit more, and his Ling clan would have been completely wiped out in Yuhua town. Luckily, Ling Xiao helped them. Although Ling Xiao helped them at a price, this was still a very good outcome. He really could not endure such an exciting matter. No wonder that guy has such a strong killing intent towards me. It seems like he is really planning to take revenge. However, the matter of me killing so many people in his clan did not seem to be spread out. Why is he only so hostile towards me? Ling Xiao was a little puzzled. Hell's fruit. Suddenly, Ling Xiao thought of the hell's fruit that he had seen in Yuhua mountain range. He instantly understood the reason. Xin Meng wanted to kill him not because of hatred, but because he did not want him to leak the news of the hell's fruit. It was said that Lord Lin was killed last night in Yuhua mountain range. If he guessed correctly, it was definitely done by this group of people. It was obvious that the hell's fruit was very attractive. However, that thing belongs to me, Ling Xiao. No one can take it away from me. In an instant, Ling Xiao felt that he had to work harder in his cultivation. Only by constantly becoming stronger could he prevent the thing that he wanted from being taken away by others. Shenmeng, as well as the Shen family behind Shenmeng, was a giant to Yuhua town. Once the Shen clan joined the fight, the situation would become very bad. Just as Ling Xiao was thinking about these problems, the county governor of 8 Immortals County, Lin Yuan, had already announced the final results of this year's Yuhua festival. As all the disciples of the Qin clan were killed, the winner of this year's Yuhua festival is the Ling clan. The head of the Ling clan, Ling Jiaojiao, will be the Yuhua town's guardian for the next 10 years. As Lin Yuan's voice fell, the scene was dead silent. After a while, it became chaotic again. Many people began to shout with righteous indignation. Isn't the head of the Ling clan Ling Yuhua? Why did it change to a young lady? That's right. How dare Ling Jiaojiao be our Yuhua town's guardian? All of you, shut up! Lin Yuan glanced at Ling Xiao. His heart was still trembling. He was really afraid that this lunatic would turn the entire Yuhua town into a purgatory in a moment of anger. Therefore, he hurriedly asked everyone to stop talking. His words might not have any effect on Ling Xiao, but to the others in Yuhua town, they were still very powerful. No one dared to disobey his orders. The scene instantly became quiet. Ling Jiaojiao was appointed as the guardian by the 8 Immortals County and also by me. Moreover, she has the official seal of the imperial court. Whoever dares to look down on the guardian is looking down on me, the 8 Immortals County, and the imperial court. Lin Yuan's words were not only for the rowdy people, but also for Shenmeng, who intended to take revenge. Of course, he knew that Chen Songhai had such a son. Hearing Lin Yuan's words, many people fell silent. Although they were not convinced by Ling Jiaojiao, they did not dare to disobey the county guardian's words, much less the imperial court's orders. They could only accept it obediently. However, Shenmeng coldly glanced at county guardian Lin Yuan. He thought to himself, you can scare others, but to scare me, Shenmeng? Dream on. At the end of the day, this is a world where the strong preys on the weak. As long as I kill Ling Jiaojiao and destroy the Ling clan, even the imperial court will not say anything. Don't forget that my biological father is the Chen Kingdom's Yuhua king. However, didn't no one investigate his death? Chapter 2150. Fine, I'll let these Ling family bastards live for a few more days. Unless you don't want the hell fruit, Ascension Mountain Range will be your burial ground. Shenmeng revealed a ferocious expression. It was impossible for the Ling family to call for reinforcements from the county governor's mansion, but he could borrow the power of the Shun family and the 24 bandits. Even without the Qin family, he could still take revenge. All right, the Ascension sacrifice will end here. Ling Xiao, Ling Jiaojiao, and Ling Yan, you 3 stay. The rest can leave. Lin Yuan announced the last order. How could the crowd be willing to leave? They still wanted to watch the show. Unfortunately, after the 3 of them stayed behind, the representatives of the 3 clans called the 3 of them to a room in Yuhua Pavilion for a discussion. Even if they stayed behind, it would be of no use to them. Do you think the 3 of them will be chosen by the 3 major families? If that's the case, the Ling family will be powerful. Even though Ling Jian and Ling Mayu were killed and their connection with the 7-star Sword Palace and Linglong Palace was severed. However, the 2 of them were nothing more than servants in the 7-star Sword Palace and Linglong Palace. It's a lie to say that they're outer sect disciples. Who doesn't know that the outer sect disciples of the 5 major powers are all at the Yin-Yang realm? For them, it was more likely that they would become Odd Job's disciples. But if they join the three major families, it'll be different. Even though the three major families can't compare to the five major powers of the Western region, they'll still treat them as treasures. That's right. It's better to be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix. But will the three major families take them seriously? I heard that among the disciples of the three major families, the lowest cultivation must be at the 8th grotto heaven realm. None of the three of them have reached that level. I don't know about that. Everyone was discussing. Even though they couldn't see the scene inside, they were still very interested in what was happening inside. Ling Yuhua was also a little excited. If Ling Xiao, Ling Yan, and Ling Jiaojiao were chosen to join the three major families, then he would definitely be in charge of the Ling family. Even though it couldn't be compared to the past, it was still better than being ordered around by Ling Jiaojiao. Moreover, if the three of them joined the three major families, it would be greatly beneficial to the Ling family's power. How could he not be happy? However, in comparison, Shen Meng's mood was not very good. Once those three fellows joined the three great clans, it would really be difficult for him to make a move. Otherwise, he would be inciting a war between the three great clans. That kind of responsibility was not something he could bear. Inside the Yuhua building, the atmosphere was somewhat tense. Although Ling Jiaojiao had experienced so many things and had matured a little, she still felt nervous. After all, there were three yin-yang realm martial artists in front of her, which made her feel pressured. Ling Yan's situation was better. After all, he was a warrior who had entered samsara, so his psychological quality was stronger. Ling Xiao felt no pressure at all. This fellow had been like this in the past. Now that he had reincarnated, it was even less likely that he would be frightened by three yin-yang realm martial artists. I called the three of you here because I want to ask you something. The representative of the Shen family spoke. Aren't we supposed to join the three great clans? Ling Yan was stunned for a moment. Do you think the three of you are worthy? Without reaching the 8th grotto heaven realm, it is impossible to enter the three great clans. The representative of the Shen family snorted coldly. What's there to be proud of? I was stronger than you in the past. What an idiot. Don't you know that samsara martial artists can break through to the rebirth realm? Ling Yan felt that the representative of the Shen family was really an idiot. Those great factions crazily recruited samsara martial artists because as long as these martial artists did not die, they could cultivate to the first reincarnation realm at the very least. On the other hand, the three great clans that were not famous were actually so stupid. Of course, he did not say this out loud. After all, his cultivation was inferior to others. If he said this, he would be at a disadvantage if they really fought. May I know what the three representatives want to ask? Ling Xiao looked at County Governor Lin Yuan and asked with a smile. It's not me who wants to ask. It's the two of them who insist on asking. Lin Yuan really did not dare to offend Ling Xiao. Although his cultivation had recovered and was much stronger than Ling Xiao, he could not remove the poison in his body. In front of Ling Xiao, he could only hold back. He was even a little afraid. Who killed Qin Pai? The representative of the Shen family asked. Ling Xiao frowned. These people did not ask about Chen Songhai or Chen Long, but asked about Qin Pai. Could it be that Qin Pai had some special identity? Ling Xiao shook his head calmly and said, Senior must be joking. Qin Pai is an expert at the 9th level of Grotto Heaven Realm. The three of us have not even reached the 8th level of Grotto Heaven Realm. How could we be his match? Of course, he would not admit it. If he could not avoid trouble, he would not be afraid. But if he could avoid trouble, it was better not to touch it, because it was meaningless and might even bring trouble to himself. Of course, I know you did not kill him. I asked who killed him. Was it Ling Yuhua? The representative of the Shin family slammed the table and roared. Senior must be joking again. The Ling family was framed by the Qin family and had their internal energy dissipated. How could they kill Qin Pai? If you say that Chan Songhai was killed by them, it is possible. Ling Xiao said again, "Impudent! Don't smile when you speak. Children nowadays are becoming more and more unruly. It seems like they need to be taught a lesson." The representative of the Shen family suddenly stood up and released the terrifying pressure of a yin-yang realm, cultivation. He wanted to intimidate Ling Xiao, Ling Jiaojiao, and Ling Yan. "Shen Luoqin, you are going overboard." Lin Yuan suddenly spoke and released a powerful aura to stop the representative of the Shen family. "The Ling family is the manager of Yuhua town. What are you trying to do?" He had to speak. If Ling Xiao was threatened, he would definitely vent his anger on him. "Humph! The three of you better remember. If I find out that you are lying, I will make you beg for death. Scram!" Shen Luoqin glanced at Lin Yuan and suddenly snorted. He did not dare to fight with Lin Yuan here. A cold glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes. People these days really didn't know their limits. Shen Luoqin looked like he was only at the 3rd level of the yin-yang realm, although he was very strong. But to the current Ling Xiao, this level of cultivation was something he would catch up to very quickly. He hoped that this guy's actions were not as despicable as his mouth. Otherwise, Ling Xiao would have another life on his hands. When Ling Xiao and the other 2 walked out of Yuhua building, the 3 representatives of the 8 Immortals County had already left. Her carefree appearance made many warriors in Yuhua town exclaim in admiration. Congratulations to the Ling family's patriarch, Jiao Jiao, for becoming the Yuhua town's guardian. When Ling Jiao walked out of Yuhua building, she was quickly surrounded by the representatives of the various families in Yuhua town. Chapter 2151. Grandpa, please help me settle this. Ling Jiao handed this troublesome matter over to Ling Yuhua. She only wanted to cultivate now, because after experiencing this incident, he was very clearly aware that strength was everything and everything else was illusory. Without strength, you were nothing. Ha ha ha, leave it to Grandpa. Ling Yuhua was happy that Ling Jiao was still willing to call him Grandpa. This was probably blood being thicker than water. At least his future days wouldn't be too difficult. After the crowd congratulated the Ling family, they turned around and were about to leave. However, at this moment, a ferocious killing intent was closing in on Ling Yuhua. This caused everyone to be shocked, and they all turned their heads to look. They saw 3 middle-aged men walking over coldly. The one in the lead had cold, killing intent and intense anger in his eyes. "Who is that?" Someone in the crowd asked. "I heard that the Qin family once adopted a son to the Shan family. Could it be him?" Another person said, "It can't be wrong. It's him. I think he's called Qin Meng. Now he's called Shin Meng." What a powerful aura. This feeling is even more terrifying than Ling Yuhua. Everyone felt the killing intent of these 3 people, especially the powerful aura released by Shin Meng. How could the Ling family not feel it? Ling Xiao narrowed his eyes and looked at this middle-aged man in his 30s. He didn't know what the other party wanted to do. If they were to fight here, he was sure that this person wouldn't be at an advantage. Ling Yuhua might not be as strong as Shin Meng, but the difference wasn't much. With his help, these 3 Shin family disciples would all die. He didn't think that the other party would be so stupid to start a fight, right? Ling Yuhua also looked at Shin Meng coldly. The Ling family finally had a chance to rise. He definitely wouldn't allow Shin Meng to ruin it. Shin Meng walked closer. Suddenly, an aura rushed towards Ling Jiao. With his cultivation, he could indeed make Ling Jiao look bad. However, Ling Xiao stood behind Ling Jiao at the right time. He gently grabbed Ling Jiao's hand, and a powerful aura penetrated into Ling Jiao's body. Shin Meng's aura was actually rebounded, and he trembled. He couldn't help but be stunned for a moment, and then he sneered and said, "What a heroine! The young disciples of my Qin clan were all killed by you, right? However, if your Ling family wants to sit firmly on the throne of the guardian. Then you must be dreaming. I will bring the vengeful ghosts of the Chen family to settle the score with you. Settle accounts. Just based on a bastard like you who was thrown out by the Qin family? Ling Xiao took a step forward and looked at Shen Meng coldly. If you are not from the Shen family, you can forget about leaving Yuhua town after saying such words. He was not boasting. If not for the fact that the Shen family was too powerful and that killing these 3 people so openly would bring disaster to him and the Ling family, he could really join forces with Ling Yuhua to cripple these 3 people. What an audacious little bastard. Although I don't know who you are, as long as you are from the Ling family, you can forget about stepping out of Yuhua town alive. Shen Meng stared coldly at Ling Xiao, gritted his teeth, and said, Just you wait. In a few days, you and your Ling family will all be buried with our Qin clan's martial artists. Is that so? Don't let the 3 of you be the only ones on the road to the underworld. I believe that your dead father, Chen Songhai, will be very happy to see you. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, I am very benevolent and can't bear to see my flesh and blood separated. Since Chen Songhai can't be revived, I will send you to reunite with him. All right, then just wait. When the time comes, I will definitely treat you, little bastard, especially well. I will definitely let you die in the most painful way possible. Shen Meng's face was extremely gloomy. If not for Ling Yuhua's existence, he would have wanted to crush this arrogant little bastard in front of him. However, he held it in. He had a perfect plan in his heart, and he didn't believe that the Qin clan wouldn't jump into it. The infernal fruits were the crux of this plan. He believed that the Ling family was anxious to become stronger and wouldn't miss out on those 4 infernal fruits. When the time came, he could capture all these people in one fell swoop. Let's go. Shen Meng decided to gather more people. It wasn't good to move the Shen clan anymore. After all, a slight move would affect the whole situation. The Shen clan wouldn't come to such a remote place to cause trouble for a mere 4 infernal fruits. However, he could gather the 24 bandits. The 24 bandits were the martial brothers of his nephew, Qin Pai, before he reincarnated. Although these people were extremely vicious and might not plan to take revenge for Chen Pai, they had reached the 9th level of their 9th stage. However, these people's cultivation bases were around the 9th or 10th Grotto Heaven realm. They urgently needed the infernal fruit to increase their strength. Shen Meng didn't care about the infernal fruits, so he could promise them all. When the time came, he would use the 24 bandits to exterminate the Ling family. Seeing Shen Meng leave, Ling Xiao felt that he had to do something before he left. Although he didn't have any feelings for the Ling family had already become a force under his command. In the future, they could provide him with an endless supply of Yuhua town's resources. Even if they were his own servants, he still had to protect them. If Shen Meng wanted to destroy the Ling family, then he would destroy Shen Meng first. After returning to the Ling family, Ling Xiao went into seclusion to cultivate. Because of the battle at the Qin family, his cultivation had broken through to the high stages of the Grotto Heaven realm. It was comparable to an ordinary 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. However, it hadn't been long since he broke through, so he still needed to consolidate it. Because he was worried about being ambushed by Shen Meng, Ling Xiao ordered the Ling family members to not act alone unless it was necessary. Since he was determined to nurture the Ling family into a force of his, he wouldn't treat them badly. The large amount of demonic beast cores that he obtained previously could be used to refine pills. Ling Xiao asked Ling Yuhua to take out all the herbs in the Qin family storehouse. After spending a day and a night, he refined over 10,000 pills. Although many of the pills were different, the effects were mostly the same. That was to increase one's cultivation. However, some pills could increase one's physical strength while increasing one's cultivation. Some would increase one's soul power. In short, they were all different, but the common point was to increase one's cultivation. It was only 4 to 5 days before the hell fruit ripened. He wanted to use these few days to increase the strength of the Ling family's martial artists by a large margin, especially Ling Jiaojiao and Ling Yan. They were the two people that Ling Xiao trusted the most. He also hoped that these two people could truly shoulder the burden for him, just like his senior brother Wu Xiang and those friends of his. While refining pills, Ling Xiao's cultivation was also in the process of consolidating. To him, refining pills was also a kind of cultivation. Only when one's control of internal energy and flames reached the pinnacle could he refine pills with ease. After distributing the pills, Ling Xiao also started his own cultivation. Chapter 2152. Ling Xiao was still not satisfied with his cultivation at the advanced stage of Grotto Heaven Realm. He hoped that he could make use of this period of cultivation to break through again. 4 days later, Ling Xiao came out of seclusion. Although his cultivation did not break through, what was worth rejoicing over was that his falling star sword art had been completely cultivated to the point of perfection. This was the so-called transformative realm. It was a pity that a low-tier gold grade martial art could only be transformed into a low-tier jade grade martial art. Next, other than the immortal seal, Ling Xiao had to think of a way to get a new set of sword skills. Before reincarnating, he liked to use swords. It was no exception now. In addition, the Transcendent Seal had advanced from expert to greater mastery. The power of the moves released by the Transcendent Seal had naturally become more terrifying. When he came out of seclusion, he found Little Fifth standing guard outside. He seemed to be in a bad mood. Seeing him, Little Fifth hurriedly stood up and said, "Young master, something bad has happened." "What happened?" Ling Xiao felt that things were not going well, but he still forced himself to remain calm. "Old clan leader has been captured," Little Fifth said. The old clan leader he was referring to was obviously Ling Yuhua. Ling Yuhua's cultivation had reached the first level of hell of Yin Yang realm. In the entire Yuhua town, there was no one who could defeat him, unless it was an outsider. Did Xinmeng do it? Ling Xiao frowned and said. Although Ling Xiao had no feelings for Ling Yuhua was now one of his people. Even when beating a dog, one had to look at the owner. Xinmeng dared to kidnap Ling Yuhua. It seemed that he was tired of living. That's right. It was Xinmeng who did it. At this moment, Ling Jiaojiao and Ling Yan walked in from the outside. Both of their cultivations had clearly increased significantly. Ling Jiaojiao had already reached the 8th Grotto Heaven Realm. Ling Yan had also reached the 7th Grotto Heaven Realm. Their aptitudes were not bad, but they did not have enough resources. The medicinal pills that Ling Xiao helped to refine were enough to allow them to grow in a short period of time. Ling Xiao, who had experienced reincarnation, understood a principle. It was not that there were no geniuses in remote places, but there were too few resources. Coupled with the lack of good teachers and helpful friends, the average strength of the warriors was relatively low. As long as these people received enough resources and guidance, their speed of improvement would not be any slower than the geniuses in the big cities. Didn't I tell you not to leave the Ling family during this period of time? Ling Yuhua is no longer a child. What's wrong with him? Ling Xiao asked somewhat angrily. You can't blame Grandpa for this. The Ling clan is such a big family and they need to eat and drink. Others have weak cultivations and are worried that something will happen. Therefore, he volunteered to go out and get some food and drinks. He didn't expect to be caught. It seems that Xinmeng must have asked for help. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to catch Grandpa so easily by himself. Ling Jiaojiao sighed. So that's how it is. This old fellow has finally changed a little. Ling Xiao was a little happy in his heart. After all, the life and death illusion powder was only a temporary measure. Ling Xiao really didn't like to use drugs to control others. if Ling Yuhua was willing to be loyal to him. He didn't mind giving the antidote to the old man. Of course, it had to be after his cultivation was stronger than the old man. Otherwise, if there were any unforeseen circumstances, he would be in trouble. Do you know where Shin Meng brought the old man? Ling Xiao asked. Shin Meng sent a letter saying that he had brought Ling Yuhua to Feather Mountain Range. That's where the hell fruit was born. Ling Jiaojiao answered. In the letter, he said that he wants everyone in the Ling clan to head there. He's afraid that we won't fall for the trap, so he wants to use the old man as bait. Ling Xiao gritted his teeth. The current situation was really terrible for him. With his current cultivation, if he fully activated the Hell Dragon Seal and Dragon Form, he could stand against Shin Meng. However, if Shin Meng had other helpers, it would be troublesome. However, Shin Meng, no matter how scheming you are, you don't know what I, Ling Xiao, did before I reincarnated. This time, I'll make sure that you and your helpers all die in Feather Mountain Range. Ling Xiao revealed a sinister smile. If he couldn't win with brute force, then he would win with his wits. He had plenty of ways to defeat Shin Meng. Jiao Jiao, you stay at home and continue to supervise the martial artists in the clan. Your strength is still too weak. Any Yin Yang realm martial artist outside can destroy the Ling clan. Therefore, I alone will be enough to go to Feather Mountain Range. Your mission is to cultivate, Ling Xiao suddenly said. That won't do. I, Ling Yan, Old Black, and the elder on duty can all help you. Ling Jiaojiao did not intend to let everyone in the Ling clan enter the mountain, but she could not let Ling Xiao take the risk alone. All right, I don't have time to argue with you. The 4 of you will follow me. However, I have to make things clear. You have to listen to my orders. Otherwise, don't go. Ling Xiao thought about it. He might really need a few helpers. The elder on duty was a half-step Yin Yang realm martial artist. Although he was not as strong as Ling Yuhua, he could still be of great help. Old Black was a 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. He could also be of help. Ling Jiaojiao was talented. Her 8th Grotto Heaven realm cultivation could be used as a 9th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. Ling Yan was a reincarnation martial artist. He was in the middle of the first transformation of the Grotto Heaven realm. His combat strength was comparable to an 8th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. He was also very experienced and would definitely be useful. Ling Xiao, Ling Jiaojiao, Ling Yan, Old Black, and the elder on duty left the Ling clan and headed to Feather Mountain Range to rescue Ling Yuhua. At the same time, it was for the Hell Fruit. As for the Ling clan's courtyard, they did not need to worry. Ling Xiao had long considered the possibility that someone might harm the Ling clan. Therefore, after eliminating the Qin clan, he set up a large array around the Ling clan's courtyard. This was also why he dared to enter seclusion without worry and only told the Ling clan members not to go out easily. If one wanted to break the array he set up, they would have to be an array master more powerful than him. Otherwise, only a rebirth realm martial artist could break the array with brute force. Even then, it would take at least 3 days and 3 nights. In such a remote place, a Yin Yang realm martial artist at the first level of hell was already big news. It was impossible for a rebirth realm martial artist to appear here. Therefore, the Ling clan was absolutely safe now. Of course, outsiders did not know this. In Feathertown, there were some clans that were on good terms with the Qin clan. After that, Shin Meng visited them one by one and threatened them in the name of the Shin clan. He also offered a lot of benefits and made a total of 12 clans stand on Shin Meng's side. When Ling Xiao and the others left the Ling clan, there were already people in the vicinity monitoring them. They also passed the news to the clan heads of the 12 clans. Young hero Shen is right. Now that Ling Yuhua has been captured, the true experts of the Ling clan have all left. They are just a weak clan that can be bullied. If our 12 clans work together, we can eliminate them. Then, we can go to young hero Shin to receive our rewards. Chapter 2153. That's right. Once we destroy the Ling family, this Yuhua town will belong to the 12 of us. Then the 90% of the resources that the Ling family occupies will belong to us. Another clan leader said excitedly, "But if we fail, we will be doomed eternally. Have you forgotten how the Qin family was destroyed?" While some were excited, some were worried. After all, the destruction of the Qin family was still fresh in their minds. That was no joke. What are you afraid of? Do you think that other than Ling Yuhua, there is anyone else in the Ling family who can overturn the situation? That's right. Without Ling Yuhua, the Ling family is just a useless clan that is strong in appearance. Destroy it. Destroy it. Finally, the 12 clan leaders came to an agreement. They led tens of thousands of people and headed towards the Ling family. They were prepared to wipe this clan that had just obtained the management rights of Yuhua town from the map. On the other side, Ling Xiao and the rest were running towards the Hell Fruit. With Ling Xiao leading the way, they naturally wouldn't get lost. When they were about to reach the Hell Fruit, Ling Xiao suddenly stopped. He took out 4 ceramic bottles from his storage ring and gave them to Ling Jiao Jiao, Ling Yan, Old Hay, and the elder on duty. Take this and spread the medicinal powder on the ground in the 4 directions. Remember to spread it evenly. Also, don't be too far away. Limit it to 1 mile. What is this? Ling Jiao Jiao asked curiously. This is the key to our victory. Ling Xiao smiled and said, I originally planned to do this myself, but since the 4 of you are here, I will leave this mission to you. I will observe the enemy's movements first. Don't worry, we promise to complete the mission. The 4 of them nodded and left with the bottles. After they left, Ling Xiao approached the location of the Hell Fruit. At this moment, the Hell Fruit looked like a flower that had already bloomed. It was estimated that it would take less than an hour for it to ripen. Ling Xiao planned to snatch all the Hell Fruit the moment it ripened. Otherwise, once such a treasure matured, it would definitely release a strange light or fragrance that would attract many people. The golden-eyed black lion that had been guarding the infernal fruit had already been killed. Although only Xin Meng and his 2 subordinates were standing near the fruit, Ling Xiao could clearly feel that there was an ambush in the dark. He activated his Tai Chi eye and observed carefully. He could not help but curse inwardly. 24 10th and 9th Grotto Heaven realm experts. Where did Xin Meng find these people? Moreover, these people were clearly filled with killing intent. They were all madmen who licked blood from their blades. I heard from Jiao Jiao that Chen Pai was the leader of the bandits before he reincarnated. These people were probably Chen Pai's subordinates before he reincarnated. I'm guessing they're also here for the infernal fruit. However, with me, Ling Xiao, here today, none of you will be able to compete with me for this treasure. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao continued to approach. Only then did he see Ling Yuhua imprisoned on a nearby tree. Looking at the situation, Ling Yuhua seemed to have suffered quite a bit and was covered in injuries. However, there was one thing that could be considered fortunate, and that was that his cultivation was still present. Ling Xiao guessed that the other party was afraid that he would not take the bait, so they did not dare to cripple Ling Yuhua. After all, a cripple's value would be reduced by a lot. If the Ling family was not willing to fall into the trap because of a cripple, then their plan today would be ruined. Ling Xiao thought for a moment and disappeared into the darkness. Facing more than 20 experts alone, Ling Xiao did not have the ability to do so at the moment. Therefore, he could only choose to ambush them. In the dark forest, the 24 bandits anxiously waited for the infernal fruit to ripen. They were hiding in the darkness under Xin Meng's orders and were preparing to ambush the Ling family. Actually, in the eyes of the 24 bandits, this was completely unnecessary. With their strength, they could just barge into the Ling family and kill them. There was no need for them to hide here and suffer. Great Thief Number 1, his name was not in any particular order, it was just a nickname. stared at the two ants fighting on the ground, and laughed. It was really too boring. Even such a scene could arouse his interest. Suddenly, he felt something approaching. He turned his head to look, but he saw nothing. Only the cold, piercing pain on his neck made his eyes turn gray. And finally, they lost all color. One down. Ling Xiao's plan was simple. He would ambush them first and kill as many as he could. If he was discovered, he had a backup plan. Therefore, after killing bandit number 1, Ling Xiao sped up and rushed towards bandit number 2, who was closest to him. Bandit number 2 listened to the roars of the wild beasts in the forest and felt the gentle breeze. He actually started to doze off. He might have died the most peacefully. In his hazy dream, he was stabbed in the throat by a knife and then fell to the ground. Who is it? Bandit number 3 and number 4 noticed a strange movement nearby at the same time. They stood up and moved over. It's me. A figure waved in their direction. It was bandit number 2. Bandit number 2 walked over with a smile. As he walked, he scolded, "Damn it, Xinmeng. What *T Ling family? I've been waiting for so long and no one has come." Seeing that it was bandit number 2, number 3, and number 4 let down their guard. Number 4 even complained, "That's right. I heard that Ling Yuhua is the only strong member of the Ling family. We've already helped Xin Meng kidnap Ling Yuhua. Would they still dare to come?" They must have run away. The 3 squatted on the ground and chatted. However, at this moment, number 3 and number 4's eyes suddenly popped out. They wanted to speak, but they didn't have the chance. A cold, knife-like hand pierced their throats at the same time. Bandit number 2 also turned into Ling Xiao's appearance. The Yin-Yang Demon King's ability to change his appearance and figure was unparalleled in the world. As long as the enemy didn't have enough time to identify him, they wouldn't be able to discover him in such a short time. 4 of them, but these guys reacted fast enough. I was almost exposed. After killing the 4 bandits, Ling Xiao was already near the tree where Ling Yuhua was tied up. As long as Ling Yuhua was released, his chances of winning today's battle would greatly increase. "Ling Yuhua, don't turn around when you hear my voice. Just spit on the ground." Ling Xiao's voice rang in Ling Yuhua's mind. Ling Yuhua was just about to turn around when he heard Ling Xiao's warning. He hurriedly spat on the ground. "Listen, I'll release you from their restraints, but you have to continue pretending to be tied up. This will give us an advantage. When I tell you to attack, attack." Ling Yuhua spat on the ground again, indicating that he understood. Then, Ling Xiao used shadow steps to appear behind the tree Ling Yuhua was tied up in. That tree was very tall. It probably couldn't be hugged by 4 or 5 people. Chapter 2154. In the following period of time, Ling Xiao began to break the shackles on Ling Yuhua. This was no ordinary rope, but a special treasure with binding inscriptions on it. If one were to mess around without any knowledge of formations, it would only cause the rope to bind even tighter. After spending a total of 10 minutes, it was finally done. During this period of time, Ling Xiao was extremely nervous. As long as someone discovered the corpses of the 4 bandits, there was a high possibility that they would come over to check on Ling Yuhua. By then, things would be bad. Follow the plan. After instructing Ling Yuhua, Ling Xiao quietly returned to the place where he started the killing. Dense demonic qi was injected into the bodies of the 4 bandits. The 4 bandits who were initially killed crawled up slowly. It was just that their eyes were lifeless and their movements were stiff. If one were to look closely, they would know that these weren't living people. They were corpses controlled by demonic consciousness. Back when Ling Xiao was fighting in the stormy ocean, he had led an army of over 1 million demonic corpses. Today it was only 4 corpses. He could still control them, steadily. Initially, he wasn't willing to use such a method. If he wasn't careful, his tracks would be exposed and the original enemies would come knocking on his door. But today he had no other choice. There were too many enemies, and they were extremely strong. If he didn't do this, it would be hard for him to have a chance to turn the tables. After that, it was impossible for him to assassinate them, because the remaining 20 bandits were closer to each other. As long as he killed one of them, the others would immediately come over. I might as well play with these guys before those people come back. After all, he had to face them head-on. Ling Xiao couldn't avoid them even if he wanted to. Therefore, he might as well show himself. The moment Xin Meng saw Ling Xiao appear, his eyes were filled with killing intent and excitement. But at the next moment, he was annoyed. Why are you the only one here? Xin Meng was pissed. This trap was set up for everyone in the Ling family. The purpose was to destroy the Ling family. Now that there was only an insignificant Ling Xiao, what was the point? I have no choice. Who asked me to have no status in the Ling family? They asked me to check out the situation. Ling Xiao said helplessly, "What a pitiful worm. You're not even treated as a human in the Ling clan. You're even worse than a slave." Xin Meng still didn't know what had happened that night in the Chen family's courtyard. Therefore, he didn't know that Ling Xiao was now the head of the Ling family. As for Ling Xiao, he still looked down on him and disdained him. "Even though you're a pitiful worm, I won't pity you. Since you've come, then die here." Xin Meng's face darkened as he said to a junior brother behind him, "Xin San, go and kill him." Xin San's cultivation was already at the 10th Grotto Heaven realm. In Shen Meng's opinion, killing Ling Xiao would be a piece of cake. He didn't even need Ling Yuhua as a hostage. The only reason he kept Ling Yuhua alive was to threaten the elder on duty and Old Black. In their opinion, those two people were the key. "Don't worry, young master. Leave this brat to me." Xin San revealed a viper-like killing intent as he looked coldly at Ling Xiao. He chuckled and said, "Brat, don't blame me. Even though I don't know you, you're from the Ling family. Since you're from the Ling family, you have to die here today. You have no choice." He didn't even consider the possibility of failure, because Ling Xiao was too insignificant. If it wasn't for the emergence ritual and the Chun family's destruction that night, even the Ling family would think that Ling Xiao was insignificant. Ling Xiao didn't say a word as he looked coldly at Xin San. A 10th Grotto Heaven realm martial artist wasn't worth mentioning in his eyes. As a transformation, one Grotto Heaven realm martial artist, even if he didn't activate the Infernal Dragon Seal, killing Xin San would be a piece of cake. His inner strength belonged to the esoteric inner strength and was much stronger than ordinary martial artists. Not to mention that he was a reincarnation realm martial artist. Every time he advanced, he would be strengthened even more. "Father, my brothers, and all the dead souls of the Chun family, this is the only person from the Ling family that came, even though I know that his death won't be able to comfort your souls in heaven. But just treat it as an appetizer before the meal." Shen Meng looked up at the sky and said sorrowfully. He wondered if his father in the underworld would scold him for underestimating the enemy. After all, Ling Xiao was the main culprit that caused the Chen family's destruction. Looking down on Ling Xiao was simply taking another step forward on the path of courting death. On the other hand, the remaining members of the 24 bandits didn't have any intention of making a move. Xin Meng didn't let them make a move, so they were happy to hide in the shadows and watch the show. "Die, kid. Feel sad for your birth." Xin San approached Ling Xiao step by step as a powerful aura was brewing on his body. Ling Xiao also drew out his metal sword. The metal sword was already mottled with many cracks, but Ling Xiao still couldn't bear to throw it away. After all, he had been using this thing ever since he entered the reincarnation realm. It would be a pity to throw it away. "I hope you can play with me for a while. Otherwise, it will be too boring." Shen San's expression was like a cat playing with a mouse. It was too boring to wait here for the hell fruit to ripen. Finally, there was a clown coming to die. Naturally, he wanted to play with him. After saying that, Shin Sen suddenly stepped forward with his right foot and his body flew out like a cannonball. Boom! His ferocious fist smashed onto Ling Xiao's metal sword. Ling Xiao was sent flying like a ball that had been kicked out. No one noticed the disdainful sneer at the corner of his mouth. In fact, Shin San's fist didn't pose any threat to him. It was impossible for it to send him flying. However, he couldn't appear too strong. Otherwise, Shin Sen wouldn't be the only one to deal with him. Shin Meng might even take action himself. Then he would really be powerless to reverse the situation. Get up, little trash! Shin Sen didn't pursue. Instead, he hooked his finger at Ling Xiao from afar and said, "If you perform a little better, I can consider giving you a quick death. Otherwise, you can wait to be tortured to death." Very clearly, Shin San felt that Ling Xiao was too useless. It was as useless as he imagined. Shin Meng only glanced over once before losing interest. He looked at Ling Yuhua and said, "To be honest, I'm really surprised. How did such a useless brat survive the Ascension sacrifice? You still dare to say that you didn't interfere in the battle of the Ascension sacrifice?" Ling Yuhua lowered his head and didn't speak. But in his heart he was cursing Shen Meng, this idiot. If you dare to look down on Ling Xiao, you will have to suffer in the future. To be honest, if not for Ling Xiao's order, he would have beaten Shin Meng up right now. He actually made him, the great Ling Yuhua, suffer such a huge loss. It was embarrassing to say it out loud. Chapter 2155. Ling Xiao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. In order to put on an act, he had to give it his all. The blood came out from biting his lips. He looked coldly at Shen San and said, "The Shen family is a big family. I don't think your disciple is that strong. He couldn't even kill me with one punch. Come at me again if you can. I'll admit defeat if you beat me to death." Shen San laughed instead of being angry. "Ha ha ha ha. You have a sharp tongue indeed. But no matter how sharp your tongue is, it's useless. You want to die a quick death, right? I won't let you do so. I'll tear your mouth apart first." Boom! Ling Xiao's sixth Grotto Heaven Realm aura burst out from his body. This stunned Shin San. Then he laughed and said, "Not bad, kid. Sixth Grotto Heaven Realm. At your age, you can be considered a little genius. But it's a pity that your path as a genius will end here. I'm at the 10th Grotto Heaven Realm. There's a difference of 4 realms. Do you think you can turn the tables? Shin San, don't talk nonsense. Get rid of that kid quickly. The hell fruit is about to ripen. I think the Ling family will be here soon." Shen Meng shouted impatiently. Shin Sen nodded and said, "Young master, don't worry. This kid is only at the 6th Grotto Heaven Realm. Killing him will be easy. I only used 30% of my strength in that punch, and he was already in such a sorry state. Don't you believe in my strength?" "Of course I believe in you. But this kid's words really pissed me off. Get rid of him, quickly. We have important matters to attend to. Don't waste too much time because of trash," Shin Meng said coldly. "Understood, young master." Shen Sen then looked at Ling Xiao and said, "I originally planned to continue playing with you, but my young master has given the order. Then I'm sorry. With this move, you can go and die." Ling Xiao heard this and turned to run. Shin San was stunned for a moment, then quickly chased after him. "Kid, don't run." Ling Xiao turned around to look at Shin San, the corners of his mouth curling up in a cold smile. The dazzling starlight on the metal sword in his hand was condensed to the limit. Although the power of the falling star sword art would increase as the number of moves increased, the falling star sword art would also increase. However, that didn't mean that the previous moves were useless. For example, the first sword, Star Flash, was the fastest of the 9 sword moves. What Ling Xiao was using now was this move. Seeing that Shen Meng and the others were already out of sight, they could not see the situation here. He suddenly reduced his speed. because Shen San had rushed over too quickly. It was too late for him to suddenly stop. His body's inertia made him unable to control himself and continued to move forward. In that instant, he saw a flash of starlight, a starlight that made him frightened and fearful. Pucci! The starlight disappeared, and a sword pierced his throat. Ling Xiao liked to stab the throat because his opponent would not be able to make a sound after being stabbed. Now, who do you think is the trash? Ling Xiao kicked the already dying Shen San and said with a disdainful smile, "Just now I was just cooperating with you to put on a show. Do you really think that you are very strong?" You, I understand now." Shen San did not finish his words and breathed his last. He understood who caused the Chen family's destruction. It was a pity that this answer could only be brought to the underworld. "Next, you will also become my demonic corpse." Ling Xiao smiled coldly. Horrifying demonic intent poured into the corpse that still maintained its body temperature. Shen San stood up shakily. "Wait here." He let Shen San hide beside a tree, then returned to the vicinity of the hell fruit. Seeing Ling Xiao return, Xin Meng revealed a surprised look. Ling Yuhua was secretly surprised. Looking at the situation, Shen San should have been killed. Not only was this brat powerful, but he was also extremely cunning. Looks like the Ling family would definitely have a day of success if they followed him. "Where's Shen San?" Xin Meng asked coldly. "I don't know either. I casually circled around a few times, and that idiot lost me." Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Although my combat strength isn't much, I'm very confident in my movement technique. Young lord, let me kill him." Shen Si, who was standing behind Xin Meng, stood out and said coldly, "Within the family I'm also known for my movement technique. Shen Sin can't catch him, but I can." "All right then. Be careful." Although Xin Meng felt that something was not right, he really could not imagine that Shen Sin would be killed by Ling Xiao. In the end, he still underestimated Ling Xiao too much, and Ling Xiao also grasped this point. That was why, after killing Shen San, he could still lure Shen Si out. He still went to a place where others couldn't see. Ling Xiao suddenly stopped in his tracks. However, this Shen Si was indeed much more vigilant. His movement technique was also much better. Although he also rushed very quickly, he stopped very gracefully. However, all these could not save his life. A sharp sword directly pierced his heart from behind. Shen Si was shocked by this piercing pain and broke out in a cold sweat. Just as he wanted to shout to remind Xin Meng, he didn't expect that Ling Xiao had already grabbed his neck. "Pitiful. You could have not died, but following Xin Meng, only death is left." Crack! Shen Si's neck was twisted and broken. Ling Xiao repeated the same trick and also used demonic intent to control Shen Si. Up until now, among the enemies, there were already 6 of his demonic corpses. Although this situation could not be said to be a complete advantage, it was definitely much better than the previous situation. However, things could happen once and twice, but it probably wouldn't happen a third time. No matter how stupid Xin Meng was, he could also sense that the situation was not right. Xin San and Shen Si were both killed after chasing Ling Xiao out. This was too strange. Ling Xiao did not expect Xin Meng to fall for it again. He returned with a smile and looked at the dumbfounded Xin Meng. "You probably already guessed it. Your 2 idiotic subordinates have already been killed by me." "You. It's actually you." In that instant, Xin Meng thought of many things. He found it strange that Ling Xiao dared to come alone to save Ling Yuhua. Now, it seemed like this guy was the main culprit behind the destruction of his Qin family. Don't you think it's too late to realize it now? Ling Xiao looked at Shan Meng disdainfully. "You're right. Those young disciples of your Qin family, your father, your brothers, and most of your Qin family were killed by me. It's really you. It's really you. Although I don't understand how a guy like you can be so strong. You're definitely going to die today. Shinmeng roared. I think Sen said the same thing just now. However, he's the one who's going to die, not me. Ling Xiao's aura suddenly became stronger. In an instant, the diabolical dragon seal activated, and he quickly entered his diabolical dragon man form. Evil, terrifying, and scorching aura spread through the dense forest. Shinmeng roared. So that's how it is. So you can achieve martial soul transformation. Your martial soul should be a beast martial soul. No wonder you can pretend to be weak. Chapter 2156. You want to use your Grotto Heaven realm cultivation to fight against my Yin-Yang realm cultivation? You must be dreaming. Shinmeng looked coldly at Ling Xiao and mocked him. How do you know if you don't try? Ling Xiao smiled and put away his metal sword. Dealing with Shinmeng, he had to use an even more powerful Dharma idol seal to have a chance of winning. After all, as Shinmeng said, even if he was in his hell dragon form, there was a limit to how much his strength could increase. It was crazy to challenge a Yin-Yang realm martial artist. But wasn't he always this crazy? Kill! Shinmeng's aura surged as a terrifying storm revolved around his body. A long saber appeared on his back. That should be his martial soul. Although it was also a saber soul, it was slightly different from the Chen family's saber souls. It should be an advanced saber soul. Storm saber soul, storm spiral. A Yin-Yang realm martial artist's attack was very strong. A 1-meter-long saber appeared in Shinmeng's hand. Above the battle saber, saber chi crisscrossed, forming a huge spiral saber chi. The spiral was getting stronger. In the face of this terrifying attack, Ling Xiao frowned slightly. However, he did not retreat. He did not ask Ling Yuhua for help. This was because if Ling Xiao wanted to break through to the next level of cultivation, he had to experience a challenging battle. Shin San and Shin Si were too weak for him. Only Shinmeng was worth fighting. The hell dragon seal in his body continued to release black flames. A strange figure with 3 heads and 6 arms appeared behind Ling Xiao. It was the third prince Neza from the god catalog. The current Neza was formed by the ancient hell dragon fire. Not only did it look real, but it was also very powerful. It's useless. The Storm Saber art combined with my Storm Saber soul can unleash the power of a high-tier jade martial technique. In addition, my cultivation is much higher than yours. No matter what your martial soul is, no matter what move you use, you will definitely die. Feeling the powerful dragon might emitted from Ling Xiao's body, Shinmeng mocked in disdain. If you were given the chance to grow, you might really become very strong. Unfortunately, you don't have any chance. Is that so? I don't think so. Within his body, every strand of Ling Xiao's essence energy seemed to have transformed into a terrifying hell devil dragon. It was moving in his meridians. Outside Shinmeng's body, the third prince Neza, formed by the ancient hell dragon fire, opened his eyes and looked at Shinmeng coldly. It was as if Shinmeng was already dead. Ling Yuhua watched this scene nervously. At this moment, he couldn't make a move, but he couldn't make a move either. If he attacked, Ling Xiao did not give the order. He might ruin Ling Xiao's plan. But if he didn't make a move, would Ling Xiao really be a match for Shinmeng? After all, even he was slightly weaker than Shinmeng. Shinmeng's Storm Saber technique and the Storm Saber soul were a match made in heaven. If something happened to Ling Xiao, then it would be the end of the Ling family. Ling Yuhua was very clear that Ling Xiao was the true backbone of the Ling family. As long as Ling Xiao didn't die, the Ling family would be able to stand tall. He was hesitant, but the battle was just a blink of an eye. He hadn't made up his mind yet. Ling Xiao's attack had already been launched. Aspect Seal, Third Prince Neza, Universe Strike. Ling Xiao blasted out with both hands. Behind him, Third Prince Neza also transformed into a huge universe ring and smashed out. It attacked that Storm Saber aura, Rumble. A terrifying explosion sounded in the dense forest. A huge crater was blasted out on the ground, and the nearby trees were uprooted. The two forces seemed to be evenly matched. It caused sand and rocks to fly everywhere, turning the scene into a mess. In this chaos, another two bandits were secretly killed by Ling Zhao's demonic corpse. With Ling Zhao here and the demonic corpse looking like a bandit, the remaining bandits weren't prepared at all. They deserved to be ambushed. Ling Zhao retreated 7 to 8 steps, then stepped into the ground and stabilized himself. The blood in his body was boiling, and it was really uncomfortable. At the end of the day, his cultivation wasn't high enough, and he suffered a loss in the battle with Shen Meng. However, this loss was nothing. It couldn't even be called an injury, and it didn't affect him at all. Moreover, Shen Meng's situation wasn't very good either. Shen Meng was blasted back 4 to 5 steps, and blood seeped out of the corner of his mouth. Although this injury was very light, to be honest, a Yin-Yang realm martial artist was injured by a Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. If this spread out, he would definitely be laughed at. Shen Meng felt humiliated. He was strongly insulted. Shock, anger, and unwillingness gathered together, causing him to go crazy. Little bastard, I wanted to let you die quickly, but now it seems that you don't even want a complete corpse. Shen Meng didn't dare to use his full strength just now, because he had to be wary of the 24 bandits. Although he was the one who invited the 24 bandits, they were still famous bandits, and they wouldn't be trustworthy at all. If these people wanted to harm him, then he had to preserve some strength. Originally, he thought that even if he held back some strength, he should be able to easily kill Ling Zhao, take revenge for his father, for everyone in the Qin family. But he didn't expect that this attack was almost on par with Ling Zhao's. This was simply too inconceivable, and he simply couldn't accept it. Even Ling Yuhua was so shocked that he nearly shouted out loud. He knew about Ling Zhao's heaven-defying talent, and also knew that Ling Zhao's strength wasn't ordinary. But to be able to fight Shen Meng to a draw so easily was still far beyond his expectations. After all, that night, Ling Zhao transformed into the terrifying Hell Demon Dragon to defeat Qin Songhai. At that time, Qin Songhai was only at half-step Yin-Yang realm cultivation. This Shen Meng was a true Yin-Yang realm cultivation. This was simply too out of his expectations. This kid was really terrifyingly powerful. But being surprised was just being surprised. Ling Yuhua was ecstatic. With such a Ling Zhao, so what if he retired and didn't become the clan leader? Their Ling family would probably really soar in the future. Although Ling Jian and Ling Moyu, who were thought to be the hope of the Ling family, were killed by the Qin family, he felt very helpless and even somewhat dispirited. But now that he thought about it, there can be no construction without destruction. As long as the Ling family was still around, they could still reproduce. As long as Ling Zhao was around, geniuses like Ling Jian and Ling Mayu would definitely appear again. Ling Zhao stood there, his aura slowly calming down. His attempt this time was actually quite bold. If it was before entering reincarnation, fighting against a Yin-Yang realm first-level Hell martial artist with 9th Grotto Heaven realm cultivation, even if the other party didn't go all out, it was impossible to have such an effect. So his attack this time was actually to test how powerful his rank 1 cultivation had become after entering reincarnation. How terrifying would his battle strength be when facing the enemy? Chapter 2157. Shen Meng did not manage to kill Ling Zhao in 1 strike, and he felt that he had suffered the greatest humiliation. He couldn't accept that a Yin-Yang realm martial artist couldn't defeat a Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. Moreover, his opponent was the enemy who killed his father and brother. He was the culprit who destroyed his Qin family. His expression was as ferocious as a monster's as his terrifying aura continued to rise. Clearly, Shen Meng didn't intend to hold back this time. Even if he had to give up the hell fruit and give it to the 24 bandits, he had to kill Ling Xiao. At most, he would leave after killing Ling Xiao. As for destroying the Ling family, he could consider it later. Sensing Shen Meng's rising aura, Ling Xiao didn't dare to be careless. Shen Meng had only used 70% to 80% of his strength. If he used all of it, it would be terrifying. He had to think of a more powerful way to counterattack. Ling Xiao, you're really strong. You're so strong that I'm surprised. I'm glad that you're just a warrior who's been reincarnated for only 14 months. If I gave you more time, I might not be able to do anything to you. However, you don't have a chance today. You don't have a chance at all. As Shen Meng roared, the storm saber soul behind him seemed to roar as well. The crazy tornado completely enveloped Shen Meng. The aura of the Yin-Yang realm's first level of hell gradually rose to its peak. The saber in his hand was no longer a saber, but a killing weapon formed by the storm. As the storm swept over, the trees around Shen Meng were easily sliced into pieces that danced in the wind. If the storm saber energy cut a person's body, how destructive would it be? Ling Yuhua was shocked. The 18 bandits, hiding in the dark, were also terrified. This was a Yin-Yang realm expert from the county capital. It was too dangerous. Ling Yuhua looked at Ling Xiao. He hoped that Ling Xiao wouldn't force himself and would give him an order so that he could help. Although he wasn't as strong as Shen Meng, he was still in the Yin-Yang realm. If he wanted to, he could hold Shen Meng back. It wouldn't be difficult for the two of them to kill Shen Meng. Ling Yuhua, don't move. At this crucial moment, how could Ling Xiao allow Ling Yuhua to destroy his opportunity to break through his cultivation base? He used his soul to inform Ling Yuhua to maintain his current state. Although Shen Meng was strong, he was not strong enough to make Ling Xiao despair. Therefore, in the face of such an opponent, Ling Xiao really had nothing to fear. In the collision just now, he could already feel that a crack had opened up in the barrier of his cultivation. As long as he could do it again, he believed that he would definitely be able to break through. This was very important. Naturally, he did not want anyone to disturb him. After warning Ling Yuhua, the aura in Ling Xiao's body completely exploded. At the same time, he actually formed a seal with both hands. Before he entered the samsara, he was already able to fight with his left and right hands, using different moves at the same time. Now it was even simpler. The first strike of the universe condensed in his left hand, and the shadow of third prince Neza appeared behind him. This attack was clearly stronger than before, but this was definitely not Ling Xiao's real killing move. His right hand formed seals at the same time. It was a new attack in the Dharma Idol seal. The power was not weaker than the first strike of the universe. Furthermore, the penetrative power was even stronger. It was just that Ling Xiao hid the aura of this attack in the first strike of the universe. Shen Meng did not discover it, and the others did not discover it either. Ha ha ha, looks like you're also at the end of your rope. The same attack, and you still want to survive under my all-out attack? Dream on. Shen Meng laughed loudly, brandishing that horrifying storm long blade and charging over. Everywhere he passed by, the ground split open, being sliced into pieces like tofu. Even those bandits hiding nearby were frightened until they hurriedly moved aside. In the process of dodging, another 4 people were killed by the sneak attack. Who would have thought that the companion standing beside him was actually Ling Xiao's demonic corpse? Now, there were only 14 of the 24 bandits left, while Ling Xiao's demonic corpses increased to 12. As long as he could defeat Shen Meng, this battle would become an even match. Don't forget that Ling Jiao and the rest had not returned yet. Once they returned, coupled with Ling Yuhua, the 14 bandits would not be a match for them at all. Hence, Ling Xiao did not need to consider too much. He only needed to deal with Shen Meng with all his strength. Everything would become simple once Shen Meng was eliminated. Kill! Ling Xiao stomped his foot, causing the ground to crack and even collapse. At the same time, his figure also flashed out. Facing Shen Meng's final attack, not only did he not retreat, but he also charged forward. All of this seemed to take a long time to describe, but when the battle really started, it happened in the blink of an eye. It was so fast that many people could not see the two figures clearly. They could only see dust and debris flying in the air. I'll tell you that under the Yin Yang realm, everything is an ant. Final strike of the storm. Shinmeng roared. The horrifying saber aura became even more violent, as if it was going to tear everything in front of him into pieces. I'll also tell you that in the eyes of a reincarnation realm martial artist, someone like you is simply a piece of trash. Universe strike. Ling Xiao blasted out his left hand. Third Prince Nez's shadow turned into a universe ring formed by immemorial hellfire and smashed out. When this attack landed on the terrifying Absolute Storm Strike, it only caused a small crack to appear on the Absolute Storm Strike. However, it did not stop the other party's attack. Shinmeng laughed crazily. Ha ha ha, Ling Xiao, you're done for. Really? But I don't think so. Aspect Seal, God of War Yang Jian, howling celestial dog. Without any delay, Ling Xiao's right hand also blasted out an attack. At that moment, a huge divine dog formed by immemorial hellfire broke through the air. It opened its bloody mouth and passed through the crack of the final strike of the storm. Rumble, rumble. The terrifying collision exploded in the void. The scene was extremely chaotic. The cracked earth and rocks on the ground flew in the air, blocking everyone's sight. Ling Yuhua could not see the situation clearly. The 14 great bandits could not see the situation clearly either. Ling Yuhua swallowed his saliva nervously. He could not imagine that the attack just now was released from Ling Xiao's hands. It was not that he had never seen a reincarnation realm martial artist before. However, there was only one as powerful as Ling Xiao. This person seemed as if he had never weakened. It was too scary. However, Shen Meng's attack was also very powerful. Would something happen to Ling Xiao? At the same time, Ling Jiaojiao and the rest who were ordered to leave had also arrived. When they saw the scene, they were shocked. Ling Jiaojiao screamed hysterically. Tears flowed down her cheeks and could not be stopped. Her life had become rich and colorful because of Ling Xiao. She had become stronger. Chapter 2158. Why are you crying? Little fool, don't you have any confidence in your brother? The smoke had yet to disperse, and the dust was still flying. Ling Xiao's confident and mocking voice was heard. Ling Jiaojiao wiped her tears and looked ahead excitedly. Finally, a figure gradually appeared. Ling Xiao looked very miserable. Both his arms were broken, and his body was covered in blood. But he was definitely the winner, because Shen Meng, who was under his feet, was on the verge of death. Not only did he lose his combat strength, but he also had difficulty breathing. It seemed that as long as nothing unexpected happened, Shen Meng would most likely die. Ha ha ha. Ling Xiao, you're fine. Ling Jiaojiao wiped her tears excitedly and pounced on him. Ling Yan, the elder on duty, Old He, and Ling Yuhua were all extremely shocked and happy. Ling Xiao actually did it. He blasted a Yin Yang realm warrior to the brink of death. Ling Yuhua also wanted to go over, but when he thought of Ling Xiao's words, he instantly stopped. Ling Xiao told him not to move. Even if Shin Meng was killed, he was not to move. Although Ling Yuhua did not understand what this meant, he still did not move out of his trust in Ling Xiao. In the dense forest, 14 bandits jumped out and surrounded Ling Xiao and the others. However, they did not care about Ling Yuhua, who was chained to the tree. Why are there only 14 people? At this moment, the bandits felt that something was wrong. Their original plan was that if Shen Meng was really dead, they would kill the Ling family, snatch the hell fruit, and leave. However, the current situation did not seem good. Ha ha! 10 people died for no reason, and none of you noticed. What a joke! Come out, my demon corpse soldiers. Ling Xiao sneered. 12 figures jumped out of the dense forest. They were the 12 people who were killed. 2 of them were Shin Sand and Shin Si. The other 10 were the 10 missing bandits. Demon corpse soldiers. Not only were the 14 great bandits dumbfounded by the scene, even the people from the Ling clan were dumbfounded. When did Ling Xiao learn such a secret technique to control corpses? How did he do it? Perhaps this was the strength of a reincarnated martial artist. Although samsara martial artists could basically retain their original martial arts, they would not be able to use them unless their cultivation level was restored to its original realm. However, Ling Xiao did not seem to follow this principle. Not only was he able to use the original martial arts, but he was also able to do it with ease. Damn it, kid, there are 4 hell fruits in total. How about we split them evenly? If we fight now, although we will be at a disadvantage, you will definitely not be able to gain any advantage. One of the bandits gritted his teeth and said, it seemed like these people didn't take the death of their companion seriously at all. As long as they could obtain the hell fruit, they didn't care if 10 people died. They didn't plan to take revenge. They only wanted the hell fruit to reach the yin-yang realm. Hee, what about now? Ling Xiao suddenly pressed a finger on Shen Meng's forehead. Then, a terrifying demonic aura blasted into Shin Meng's body. Shin Meng, who was completely stiff, stood up. His eyes were empty and lifeless, but he stared at the 14 great bandits. Jiao Jiao, don't worry about me. Cooperate with the demon corpse soldiers and eliminate the remaining 14 great bandits. Ling Xiao sat there and began to heal his wounds. He was heavily injured in the battle with Shen Meng, but he could feel that a breakthrough was imminent. However, his body that was riddled with scars would not be able to support a breakthrough. Therefore, he had to recover as soon as possible before breaking through. He still didn't let Ling Yuhua move, nor did he let Ling Jiao Jiao and the others save him. The moment the hell fruit matured, it might attract even more terrifying existences. He didn't want to waste all his previous efforts. He even had a feeling that someone was watching them. However, this person's cultivation level was much higher than his, and his concealment ability was very strong. He couldn't even see him with his Tai Chi eye. That was why he made such arrangements. It wasn't to deal with Shen Meng and the others, but to deal with unexpected situations. What Ling Jiao Jiao and the others had done wasn't for nothing. With Shen Meng's powerful yin-yang realm demon corpse soldiers joining the battle, the 14 great bandits could only be killed. Although they weren't weak and had a large number of people, they were still killed one by one. In the end, they all lost their lives here. 24 great bandits. Each head is worth tens of thousands of mid-grade spirit stones. Put them all away. Ling Xiao, who was healing his wounds, called out to them. Ling Yan and the others took the heads of the 24 great bandits and put them in their storage rings. In any case, the storage rings were frozen with frost energy. The heads could be stored for a long time. Ling Xiao continued to focus on healing his wounds. Since he didn't need to control the demon corpse soldiers, he could save a lot of energy and focus on his task. The demon corpse soldiers were too drained. If he had any other choice, Ling Xiao wouldn't have used them today. Now that the enemies were eliminated, he took back the demon chi he had injected into the corpses. However, at that moment, a strange sneer sounded from the dense forest. Ling Xiao turned pale with fright. Just as he was about to stand up, he saw a black shadow descend from the sky and grab Ling Jiao Jiao like a black eagle. Kakik, what good luck. Originally, the higher-ups only ordered me to capture the Yuhua town's guardian. I didn't expect to see such a good show today. Oh, and so many hell fruits. If we take them back, we'll be rich. Demon Shadow Sect. The moment this person appeared, Ling Yan suddenly cried out in alarm. Before he reincarnated, he was from the Black Tortoise continent and had been active in the western regions. Therefore, he was very familiar with the Demon Shadow sect. The Demon Shadow sect belonged to the Mystic Snake Demon sect. Although it couldn't compare to the Mystic Snake Demon sect, it was above the 3 great families in the 8 Immortals County. Moreover, the Demon Shadow sect was tyrannical and cruel. Before Ling Yan reincarnated, he didn't pay much attention to such a small sect. However, he had to be careful now. Such a sect wasn't something they could deal with now. The Demon Shadow sect's martial artists had tattoos on their wrists. It was a door filled with strange patterns, which was why Ling Yan could recognize it at a glance. Tisk tsk. I didn't expect there to be someone among you who knows what's good for you. You should be a martial artist who reincarnated, right? No wonder you know that I'm from the Demon Shadow sect. That's right, I'm Mo Fengzi, an inner disciple of the Demon Shadow sect. Mo Fengzi looked at Ling Yan and said with a smile. Looking at this person, Ling Zhao's mood became extremely tense. This Mo Fengzi was stronger than Xin Meng. Although he was still at the first level of the Yinyang realm, he was obviously at the peak of the first level. Shen Meng was only at the late stage of the first level. As for Ling Yuhua, he was only at the middle stage of the first level. Chapter 2159. The reason why Ling Xiao was nervous was because Mo Fengzi was stronger than Xin Meng. Of course, more importantly, Ling Xiao was seriously injured and needed time to heal. He couldn't release such a terrifying attack in a short period of time. As for the demonic corpse soldiers, he could indeed resurrect the demonic corpse soldiers, but they were still demonic corpses. It would be good if they could display 60 to 70% of their original strength. The key point was that they didn't have brains. Counting on the demonic corpse soldiers to deal with Mo Fengzi was simply a fool's dream. Although he was extremely nervous, Ling Zhao's face was as calm as ever. He was the backbone of these people. If he panicked, then the others would panic as well. Ling Yan, take Ling Xiao away! Ling Jiaojiao suddenly shouted. The moment she was held hostage, Ling Jiaojiao felt that the person holding her hostage was too strong and wasn't someone they could deal with. Go? Why should we go? Ling Xiao looked at Mo Fengzi indifferently and said, The Devil Shadow sect is indeed strong, but I, Ling Xiao, am not afraid of a single Mo Fengzi. He's just a little bit stronger than Xin Meng. He did this to make Mo Fengzi suspicious and think that he had a backup plan. Of course, he did have a backup plan. There was no doubt about that. Although he didn't know if Mo Fengzi would be affected by his words, Ling Jiaojiao, Ling Yan, and the rest instantly calmed down from their panic. Shen Meng was such a powerful existence, yet he was killed by Ling Xiao. So what if this Mo Fengzi was stronger? They believed that although Ling Xiao was seriously injured, he definitely had other methods. Ling Xiao didn't speak anymore and just silently recovered. The sooner he healed his injuries, the greater his chances of winning. Mo Fengzi laughed strangely and looked at Ling Xiao, saying, Brat, your performance was really brilliant. Being able to kill Xin Meng was indeed beyond my expectations. One must know that Xin Meng was considered a pretty good expert even in the 8 immortal state. And the demonic corpse art you just displayed really opened my eyes. In the past, I vaguely heard of such a secret technique, but it seems to have happened on the White Tiger continent. Who were you before you reincarnated? Do you think I'll tell you? Ling Xiao replied indifferently. I just want to tell you one thing. Let Jiao Jiao go and leave, and I'll pretend that nothing happened today. Otherwise, you should know that I'm a reincarnation realm martial artist with a huge force behind me. You should know the consequences of offending me, right? Stall for time. This was what Ling Xiao was doing now. Hee, do you think I don't know that you are stalling for time? But it doesn't matter. I don't think you can do anything. Since you refuse to reveal your past identity, I can only capture you alive and interrogate you properly. To be honest, the secrets on your body really fascinate me. Mo Fengzi wasn't frightened by Ling Zhao's words at all. The people of the Devil's Shadow sect licked blood from their blades. Who had they not offended before? They really belonged to the type of people who were extremely daring. Furthermore, if he killed Ling Xiao and the others today, even if Ling Xiao had a huge force behind him, he wouldn't have to be afraid. Capture me alive? Ling Xiao revealed a disdainful smile. You can try. Perhaps in the end, your death will be even more miserable than Xin Ming's. Mo Fengzi's expression suddenly turned sinister as he stared at Ling Xiao and said, "Brat, I really hate you. At such a young age, don't always pretend to be wise and confident, as if everything is under your control. The world is bigger than you think. You're just a frog at the bottom of a well. Yin-Yang Realm's first layer of hell. Peak cultivation. This should be your strongest cultivation, right?" Ling Xiao suddenly asked. "So what?" Mo Fengzi frowned. "You have never left the Western region in your life, right?" "No. Perhaps you have never even left the Qin country." Ling Xiao continued. "That's right, so what?" Mo Fengzi's voice turned cold. Perhaps it was because Ling Xiao had touched his sore spot. With his current cultivation, he didn't even dare to step out of the 8 immortal state, let alone the Qin country. "So what? I have been to the Heavenly Dragon Continent, the Divine Phoenix Continent, the White Tiger Continent, and now the Black Tortoise Continent. The people I've met and the world I've seen are much more extensive than you. Who is the real frog at the bottom of the well? Do I still need to say more?" Ling Xiao sneered in disdain. Mo Fengzi's sore spot was poked, and his face turned extremely ugly. He suddenly pinched Ling Jiao's mouth and said loudly, "Although this little girl is a little tender, her looks are not bad. Your grandpa likes this kind of girl the most. Do you want grandpa to show you what the adult world is like?" He seemed to be angry from embarrassment and wanted to use Ling Jiao to threaten Ling Xiao. "If you dare to touch a single hair of hers, I promise to kill your whole family." Ling Xiao's voice was terrifyingly cold. That frightening gaze actually made Mo Fengzi loosen his grip on Ling Jiao's mouth. When Mo Fengzi came back to his senses, he felt extremely humiliated. He was actually frightened by a Grotto Heaven realm martial artist. This was simply an enormous humiliation. "Damn little thing. I reckon you should be a martial artist who has entered the reincarnation realm, right? Furthermore, you were a lofty big shot before you entered the reincarnation realm. Otherwise, it would be impossible for you to have such a strong killing intent. But so what? A strong dragon can't suppress a local snake. So what if you are a strong dragon? Today, you must bow your head in front of me." He once again pinched Ling Jiao's mouth, and his dirty right hand released a disgusting black qi. A strong dragon can't suppress a local snake? That's only because they are all fake dragons. In front of a true dragon, there is nothing to fear. Ling Jiao, listen to me. I will definitely save you. Believe me, don't do anything stupid. Ling Xiao saw a trace of determination in Ling Jiao's eyes. He knew that Ling Jiao might choose to commit suicide for him. If a martial artist wanted to commit suicide or even self-destruct, even Mo Fengzi would find it hard to stop them. However, Ling Xiao would never allow such a thing to happen. At most, he would just expose all of his secrets today. Ling Jiao was loyal to him. If he couldn't even save a woman, then he would truly be regressing. Ha 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 ha, you still want to save her? You'd better think about yourselves first. All of you will die here today. Mo Fengzi laughed heartily. Oh, that's right. As for this little girl, I'll kill her after I'm tired of playing with her. Don't worry. She'll tell you her story on the road to the underworld. Ling Yuhua realized that he couldn't understand Ling Xiao at all. According to common sense, at this time he would just choose to feign civility and lower his head. In any case, Mo Fengzi had his eyes on Ling Xiao's ability and wouldn't kill him. As for Ling Jiao, she wasn't even his biological sister. Why should Ling Xiao risk his life to save her? Chapter 2160. Ling Yuhua seemed to be able to see the gap between himself and Ling Xiao. From the beginning to the end, he only cared about benefits. Although Ling Xiao also cared about benefits most of the time, there were times when he could give up everything, including his own life, for the sake of friendship. Such a hero would naturally be able to obtain the support of others. It was no wonder that Ling Jiaojiao and Ling Yan were so easily subdued by Ling Xiao. It was no wonder that even he admired this little fellow to the point of prostrating himself before him. This wasn't because of strength, but because of the realm of a person. Forget it. If Ling Xiao really can't do it, then this old man will risk his life to accompany this gentleman. In any case, that Mo Fingzi won't let this old man off after killing Ling Xiao. Ling Yuhua made up his mind as his gaze became resolute. At this moment, Mo Fingzi didn't care about the imprisoned Ling Xiao, nor did he care about the heavily injured Ling Xiao. He pinched Ling Jiaojiao's chin and said with a smile, "Little girl, you're really pretty. I guess you still don't know what the most comfortable feeling in this world is. Don't worry. Big Brother will let you know in a while. At that time, you can follow Big Brother wholeheartedly. As for that brat, don't even think about it. In order to prevent you from missing him, I'll cripple him first and let you enjoy it in front of him." Hearing those words, Ling Jiaojiao's face turned deathly pale, and she almost wanted to bang her head against a tree. If it wasn't for Ling Xiao, she wouldn't want to live anymore. Boom! Suddenly, an evil and powerful aura filled with anger soared into the sky. The surrounding trees and flowers suddenly withered. And Mo Fengzi was startled and didn't dare to humiliate Ling Jiaojiao anymore. He hurriedly turned his head to look at the place where the terrifying aura came from. Ling Xiao, who was originally recuperating, was standing there with boundless demonic intent in his blood-red pupils. The demonic seed in his body was frantically growing. "Old dog, take your dirty hands away. Otherwise, I'll chop you up and feed you to the dogs." Mo Fengzi's heart trembled, but when he thought of the huge difference in cultivation between him and the other party, he became unhappy again. "You brat, are you really in a hurry to die? You dare to scold me? This daddy will skin you alive." "So what if I scold you? I still want to chop you, old dog, into pieces." Inside Ling Zhao's body, demonic was roaring. It was unknown when he would transform into the terrifying heavenly demon king. Although he really didn't want to do that. This was because not only would his identity be exposed, but it would also cause a great burden on his body, causing his cultivation speed to slow down. However, for Ling Jiaojiao, for himself, and for the people who were willing to believe in him, he had no choice but to do so. He would not allow the person he loved to be wronged in front of him. Never. Boom! Mo Fengzi sent Ling Jiaojiao flying with a slap, and a black net-like object trapped Ling Jiaojiao. Ling Jiaojiao spat out mouthfuls of blood. Even though her cultivation wasn't weak, she could only survive against a martial artist at the peak of Yin-Yang Realm Level 1. It was almost impossible to completely avoid being injured. Looking at the dark red blood that was spat out from Ling Jiaojiao's mouth, Ling Zhao's anger became even more intense. However, his aura gradually retracted. It was the calm before the storm. A terrifying disaster was brewing, but it was a pity that Mo Fengzi didn't know about it. "Mo Fengzi, I have already said that if you hurt a single hair on her, I will exterminate your entire family. I have always kept my word. Now, I will kill you first, then exterminate the Devil Shadow sect. Don't worry, you won't have any descendants left in this world." Absolutely not. Although Ling Zhao's voice wasn't as impassioned as before, it became increasingly cold and terrifying, as if a devil was about to awaken in his body. Mo Fengzi laughed loudly. "Don't talk about hurting her, so what if you kill her? She's just a little girl from a remote place. Do you really think that anyone would care? You still want to exterminate the Devil Shadow sect? Today, I will exterminate you first and let you experience how terrifying a true yin-yang realm martial artist is. While speaking, Mo Fengzi seemed to want to give Ling Xiao some pressure. In that instant, a terrifying aura completely erupted. This aura was indeed much stronger than Xinmeng's. Ling Xiao even felt that he wasn't facing a person, but a monster that could destroy the heavens and earth. The terrifying pressure made it hard for people to breathe. You are indeed too strong, much stronger than Xinmeng. However, I'm not bad either. It was impossible for Ling Xiao to shrink back. Ling Jiaojiao was still trapped by this guy, and those who believed in him were waiting for him to save her. If he were to shrink back, then disappointment would envelop them. It would be even more difficult to make these people believe in him. Furthermore, when would he, Ling Xiao, be afraid of such a martial artist? It wasn't like he couldn't see the depth of his opponent. Mo Fengzi was only a yin-yang realm martial artist at the pinnacle of hell, and wasn't an unreachable existence. Ling Xiao felt that as long as he made a breakthrough in his cultivation, there was still a chance for him to fight. You are really strong, too strong. However, I have to thank you. If it wasn't for your terrifying pressure, my cultivation wouldn't have been able to make a breakthrough so easily. As Mo Fengzi's terrifying pressure assaulted him, the energy in Ling Xiao's body naturally wanted to resist. This power stimulated the potential in his body, and he finally broke through the barrier of breakthrough. Peak of Grotto Heaven Realm Martial Artist. It was equivalent to an invincible existence in the Grotto Heaven realm. This was only Ling Xiao's own strength. If he added the effects of the Hell Dragon Seal, the profound inner force in his body, and the terrifying amplification of a martial artist who had entered the reincarnation realm, if he were to meet Xinmeng now, he might win even more easily. At the very least, he wouldn't be as heavily injured as before. You actually made a breakthrough. Mo Fengzi's pupils suddenly shrank as he was clearly shocked. However, his eyes immediately turned cold again. So what if you made a breakthrough? If you can't reach the yin-yang realm, you are just an ant. Ant. I don't know how many people have said that about me, but even ants can defy the heavens. Ling Xiao had already formed seals with his hands. The universe strike and a howling celestial dog were formed at the same time. Previously, he had relied on the ability to form seals with his hands to defeat Xinmeng. That was genuine strength. He didn't believe that he couldn't injure Mo Fengzi. Kill! Ling Xiao roared as he rushed out like a huge meteorite, wanting to kill Mo Fengzi. You think that if this move can injure Xinmeng, it can injure me? Xinmeng, that idiot, didn't even display the strength of a yin-yang realm martial artist. Facing Ling Xiao's brazen attack, Mo Fengzi's face was filled with disdain. He circulated his yin-yang yuan force and lightly pointed his finger in the air. This finger didn't seem to be very powerful. However, when it flew in the air, it suddenly spun and madly absorbed the surrounding elemental energy like a black hole. Demonic Explosion Whirlpool Finger. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.